Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, welcome to episode 14 Hollywood After Dark. Today, of course, is the 4th of July, still kind of for a little bit more. Hope you all had a good one. And I want to talk about something hot, a hot topic. Superman, boring, not boring. Can he be corruptible? Let's talk about that right now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Happy 4th of July. Welcome to the show. I thought about not going live tonight. In fact, I was very tempted to be in a movie theater right now watching Fast and Furious 9, but I'm tired. I spent the day with my kids, so I'm very sleepy. Thought I would come on here and poke the bear a little bit because apparently I caused a bit of a stir over there on the Twitter sphere by making an offhand shitpost about Superman. A lot of people out there are making very pointless arguments to me about it, so I thought it'd be kind of funny to come on and talk about it tonight. I told everyone that they could come on and roast me. Be kind of funny tonight. I did put out the call to my friends if they want to come on in and chat. We'll see if they pop on up. If not, might go for about 20 minutes, then drop the link, get your guys' take on a number of this sort of thing. And it's going to be a very, very, very interesting night. But first, let me just give a quick, huge, momentous shout out to my channel members. Everyone here is partially responsible for helping keep the channel afloat. Thank you all very much for your support. I really appreciate that. And as always, you guys, how are you tonight? Let's take a quick look here at the chit chat. We got Andrew Caselli saying, "Why is this even a question?" Because it's good to question things, Andrew. It's always good to question things. Shiny here saying, "Hello, Matt. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you as well, Shiny. Hope you're doing well." Austin here says, "Looking forward to this. Seems like a bit of a hot topic." Absolutely is. And then Min here says, "I have a feeling this has to do with a certain Troyo Boyo 17 video. I don't know who that is, nor do I believe I pronounced that name correctly." So obviously, James here saying, "Absolutely fed up with him turning bad." But then again, James, you hang out with the Fandom Menace, so you're absolutely fed up about literally everything. So pardon me if I'm having trouble with whatever outrage you're espousing today, because I don't know how much of it is real or, simply lies. But anyway, Music Man here says, "So what's the stream answer for us tonight?" Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what's going on tonight. I don't quite know. I was going to talk about something else, but this is what I said I would talk about. So there we go. Music Man here also asks, "How's my 4th?" It was good. It was good. It was very fun. A good day. Hung out with my family. The last sane one here says, "If your great idea is to turn the incorruptible Clark Kent evil, your idea is shit." See, I do disagree with that, because Superman should never be incorruptible. Superman should never 100% be all Paragon. Like, this ain't a game of fucking Mass Effect. You know what I mean? This ain't Mass Effect where it's like, or Red Dead Redemption where you have a sliding scale and the goal is to either be all good or all evil, because that's how some of the games will play out. There's no such thing as truly incorruptible. And that is, if you think someone is truly incorruptible, then you have a shit thought in your mind, because there's no way. And to shut the door on that, it's like, look, is Superman Jesus or isn't he Jesus? That's really what it boils down to. When you say Superman is incorruptible, then you're basically saying Superman is Jesus. And Jesus was, by his own definition in the Bible, was a fallible man. You know what I mean? But it's like you put this idea on him that you box him up, that he's incorruptible, that nothing can ever truly faze him, that he'll never stray, that he'll never question, that he'll always do the Boy Scout thing. And I'm sorry, my personal take on that is it's boring. It's boring. Moral ambiguity goes a long way, even if it's in small doses. Shifty Gizmer asking, "Will there be yelling and screaming tonight?" I was making a sandwich and heard some of last night and immediately thought Signor had snuck on the stream. No. That didn't happen last night. It would have been really funny if it did. It would have been really funny if it did. I would have been all for it, to be honest with you. But no, I don't think there's going to be yelling. Enosh is a huge Superman fan, so like he may not want to come on and have a debate about Superman being kind of a boring character. Because that might really trigger him. I'm not looking to trigger him, but it could happen. Astro here says, "Hey Matt, hey Chad, how you doing?" Lord Slug here says, "Jarbo loves poking the bear." Also, Lord, hey man, I like your new Avi. It's a nice new Avi. Dylan here says Superman 1978 is creepy. Him looking through Lois Lane's clothes. WTF? How come that never gets talked about? I mean, it makes you really wonder how many times Clark has been flying over the city and uses his X-ray vision in order to scope on some like sorority babes. You know what I mean? Like, and then again, take it to the next evolutionary phase, like the next logical step of that. If he's out there perving on chicks, he's going to get a super boner, and then he's going to have to super whack off in order to super orgasm in order to make that boner go away, unless he holds his breath. But since he doesn't need to actually breathe oxygen, that wouldn't happen. So then the question becomes, like, does Superman masturbate while he is peeping Tomming on other people? And that is, there we go. Now, and then Austin here, great points, is my question is, why would you back a character into a corner by making him incorruptible? I'll be honest, the most stories I enjoy Superman are ones where he's pushed to his limits or a tyrant. Yeah, I find that to be fascinating too. And I think a lot of people that don't want Superman to ever be changed are a lot of people that I would honestly argue, and I'm just going to say it, I think those people are generally kind of religious. I do. I think there is such a Christ-like mentality that is applied to Superman, the infallible nature of Clark Kent, the infallible nature of Jesus Christ. Their dichotomy between the two there's so much overlap between the two in regards to like their position in pop culture, their position in certain parts of society. I think that causes a lot of issues. I do. I think that the most people you're going to find like that are probably ones who are very religious. I'm not criticizing someone having faith, but I'm talking about the association and the attachment. So let's see. You just suck here says Superman's totally jerking off and ejaculating. Yeah, right. Totally. I'm just saying. Now that's a crazy Superman story when he got split into two different entities made of blue energy and red energy. That's an idea. Let's see here. Oh, Rational Skeptic says they're overusing evil Superman in games and TV shows. Now, look, that is a valid criticism. All right. Like that is a valid criticism where you can say they're overusing the trope. And that's one thing, but I think that's because a lot of people out there are resonating with it. They want to see not so much a morally ambiguous Superman, but what they want to see is a Superman that is more relatable to them. The Boy Scout nature of Superman is not relatable to many people. Life is not white, it's not white and black. It is gray. There is a lot of gray, and we live in the gray more often than I think we'd like to realize. And the people out there that say, I look to Superman as being an icon, a beacon of hope. I'm like, maybe not so much anymore. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that. Now McLeod here says, but then later when he finally embraces his destiny as the Man of Steel, he tries to earn humanity's trust. And that's an arc. That's an arc. Some may, actually, here's why we're talking about it today. All right. We're talking about it today. That's not bird poop. There we go. Let's see here. There's always been a lot of Jesus allegories with Superman since the beginning. The creators are Jewish, so it makes sense. Well, I mean, I'm kind of curious how that would be a thing. But anyway, let's see here. And then Rational Skeptic here says, in Snyder's arc, it made sense though. There was a plan to grow the character. Yes, and that's true. I like that quite a bit. Worldwide Web Wizard. Yeah, I did see you have a new Twitter. Yeah, I got your message. All right, well, let's take a quick look here at, this is kind of what happened today. So comicbook.com ran an article talking about Grant Morrison, explaining why the evil Superman trope is ridiculous. Saying here that Morrison, with alternate Superman depictions and evil analogs running rampant, celebrated Superman writer Grant Morrison has offered their observations on the subversive trend. Morrison, who is teaming up with Mikhail Janin, to launch this July's Superman and the Authority, weighed in on the decidedly more sinister portrayals of the Man of Steel, including alternate universe stories like Injustice, during an exclusive interview. And unsurprisingly, Morrison is relatively unimpressed with the more violent depictions of Superman currently prevalent in various multimedia. Now, he says, it's something that I've come to terms with and pared it down, to coming down to the patriarchal structures that have been oppressing that have been oppressing us, and Superman can easily be made to be a representative of that. This dad-like figure looking out for us can be made authoritarian, but I think that's a mistake. I think that the idea that Superman would react to the death of Lois Lane by becoming a tyrant is ridiculous. My mom and dad died, and I didn't become a tyrant. If I can handle it, Superman can handle it. I mean, okay, like for one, okay, I'm back now. It's stupid StreamYard. I lowered my internet down to my 2.6 gigahertz to see if that would stop it, you know. Um, but um, but no, it might be having issues again. Son of a bitch. God, that's tiring. All right, so wait. Grant Morrison, who like legitimately looks like a Scottish version of fucking Lex Luthor, is let's see. Okay. I'm just looking to see like what his early life was. He's born in Glasgow. He's educated in school. Wait, does he identify? Sorry, did they identify as? Because okay, so they are known for their non-linear. Oh, I don't know. Wait, hold on. What does Grant Morrison identify as? I don't want to like. I'm assuming they is their preferred pronoun. So okay, fine, that's fine. Okay. I guess that's it. Yeah, I need to get off the 56K modem. I know I'm going to buy a new one. This is a network adapter that. Oh my God. All right. We'll see. I used OBS last night and it's still messed up. So it's still, I don't quite know what the hell's going on. It's not going to do a part two. No, if this is going to be, I don't know what's going on. Um, you know, yeah, StreamYard's. I know. I'm going to order a new network adapter. Like I found a couple on Amazon that are a good price. I've reset my modem. I don't know what's going on. I'm not happy. Anyway, real quick here, McLeod says a large part of what makes Superman who he is the fact that he's an immigrant, and a lot of what he had to go through growing up can be seen as an immigrant story. But here's the thing with him being, well, I don't know how much of that I agree with. I understand the immigrant angle of it, but he's white passing, and he grew up in Kansas with white parents, and no one ever knew of his immigrant status. So he never got treated differently for being an immigrant because no one ever knew he was an immigrant. Everyone just thought he was another Kansas boy. So I don't know if the immigrant angle is really, really, really something that works. You know what I mean? Like, I get your argument, but everything we know about the character and in regards to his, like, one mother, one father, stable upbringing kind of negates any kind of like, I'm an immigrant storyline, because no one knows he's an immigrant. And even he knew, but he still was pretending to be human. Maybe that's what it is. But there was never any challenge to him on an outside level, outside of, his father, at least, in some depictions of the character of Jonathan Kent, of trying to protect him. So it's kind of one of those things. No, white people can be immigrants, Alvi. So, well, it's the thing is, it's more that I get the last same one. I get that. It's more that he does not feel like he truly belongs. I understand that argument, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that's still him trying to understand that he is human. So yeah, I know that Superman is an undocumented citizen, but no one else knows that Superman is an undocumented citizen until they know that he's an alien from Krypton. Other than that, it's like an INS ain't coming for his ass. You know what I mean? Like, so he has like privilege that a lot of other undocumented citizens do not have, in which that if the authorities came for him, he would F them up. So he's just going to be given naturalization status, and they're just going to let that be the thing. Or, like no one's ever just going to question it. And Clark Kent clearly had I'm sure they got a birth certificate, and I'm sure they got a social security number for him, and all that kind of stuff. So Clark Kent wasn't undocumented. Clark Kent was actually very documented. So there's a difference there, right? There's a difference. Again, like we look at, this is what I'm talking about when I bring up the notion that in like the wrong hands, Superman is a very boring character because because so many things get moved around that are just kind of like, what? Why? All right. Like, is it just you want to play the immigrant angle because he's an alien species living on Earth? But then let's apply the concept of what it is to be an immigrant in 2021 America, or at least in the modern age of being an immigrant in America and what comes along with that. But if no one knows that he's an immigrant and he's white passing, no one's going to question it. No one's going to question it. Therefore, whatever kind of oppression he might face as a result of that is not going to be a thing. Let's see here. Frank here says, why not build up a new character rather than putting down an old one? Don't do sloppy seconds. Well, we say that a lot about a lot of different characters. It's not just Superman, but I kind of agree with you. I mean, I don't mind new takes on the character. I've just said for years that I found Superman to be very boring. I always have. However, I liked Henry Cavill's performance of him, and I enjoyed the arc that Zack Snyder had built around the character because I feel like that was tying into, the conversations about what would Superman be like if he was living in today's society. A lot of people put this idea on Superman, like I said before, that he's infallible, incorruptible, the Boy Scout. A paragon in a video game is kind of boring at times, right? It's always kind of boring at times. And it's like to never question those motives or question those things. That's what I'm talking about here. So yes, H. Barts. Snyder. All right, let's see. Miniman says here, Superman was the worst part of Zack Snyder's Justice League for me. A black costume with no real meaning. To me, it comes off as being edgy for the sake of being edgy. Well, I mean, in the comic, the black suit had a meaning to fans of Superman who understand that the Death of Superman storyline, the black suit has a meaning. To the rest of us who don't know that storyline, it doesn't have him. It doesn't. I mean, they never explain the meaning of him having it, but I guess it could. I don't know. I guess like in future Justice League movies, he would have had the black suit as well. All right, Chris Carlos here asks, Lobo is the last of his kind. Who would I want to see play him? I don't know much about Lobo as a character, but based upon what I have seen, like, I would probably say somebody like, I don't know, I know people who have been like, oh, like The Rock or Jason Momoa, but Black Adam and Aquaman. How about Vin Diesel? Let him play Lobo, right? Lord knows Riddick's been chased by bounty hunters. Let him play a bounty hunter. Let him do that one, right? Superman's biggest threat is a stupid rock. I mean, yeah, that's effectively true. That's the other part of it as well. The only thing that stops him is a rock from his home planet, which is in very short supply. And that's it. Or you keep him underground for a while until his batteries deplete. Because he's like a human solar panel. You know what I mean? Like there's elements of him, like, again, there's things that are cool about Superman. His powers are cool, but his weaknesses are just so kind of lame. There's nothing like, I'll tell you this. You know what? Like when they said that was it Bloodshot, or Bloodsport, whatever the fucking guy, Idris Elba's character in Suicide Squad, is in jail because he put Superman in the hospital by shooting him with a kryptonite bullet. That's interesting. That's interesting to me because now Superman is like has experienced the weakness. Now what's going to happen as a result of that? How long, like that's something I'd like to see play out. Like how would that impact him? And what's the fucking point of the character? He was created at a time when I understand why. But here it is nearly a decade or 100 years later. And you're like, all right, like what else you got for me? Now, did I cut out again? Ah, fuck me. God damn it. No, it's just StreamYard, man. I'm so gonna yell at them for this shit. I'm so not happy. Hold on. I'm just gonna move back to my all right. Okay, I should be back now. I just moved over back to my 5G because I had lowered it down to think that could be the problem. I'm going to order that new goddamn thing tonight. I'm so pissed at this. I do apologize, guys. It's happening worse and worse and worse. I don't know the problem. I'm not on camera as a result of that, so I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm not happy at all with that. I don't know if Zoom's going to be any better. Yeah, no, I know that the Bloodsport shooting Superman arc is from the comics. I know that. What I mean by that is Bloodsport shooting was actually something that was interesting to happen to Superman. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. It's just like I don't know. Maybe it's just I've been so bored by it for years. Gang of Heroes says here the best Superman stories are those that challenge his moral beliefs. Like in What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Yeah. No, that's the thing. Questioning the moral beliefs, that's fascinating to me. Those are fascinating stories because then when you start getting into the moral ambiguity of it, then we can really start having those human-based questions. But when it's just he's a Boy Scout, don't touch him because he's a fucking Boy Scout. I get bored with that. Like I just get real bored with that. Now, here's something I wanted to kind of bring up, and I think I'm not wrong. When I talk about how Superman as a boring character is really being spread across the board here. Now, this is Comicron.com, and this is their 2020 comic book sales at comic shops. All right. So showing the overall North American sales. Okay. Now, granted, Diamond Distributor did suspend when the pandemic shutdowns began, so data is limited to the first quarter for right now. But just looking here, kind of scrolling through, we're looking at these top at sales, right? Are you noticing we're already down all the way to 60? Star Wars Darth Vader, and there ain't much there. There's like here we go, Batman and Superman. Right, there we go, number 68. Okay, keep going down a little bit. Number 84 is when you get Superman. Issue number 19 came out the 22nd of January 2020, only 43,000 units. The thing is, in regards to looking at some of these numbers here, some of these sales here, Superman as a comic book entity is very much starting to lose its luster in regards. It's just not selling. It's not selling as much as Batman. It's not selling as much as other things. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that it's just that people are having trouble writing Superman as a character. Now, Thomas Carroll here says, Fleischer had the best take on this, saying that Superman is only compelling when you are seeing him test the limit of his physical abilities. And that is something that's very true. We want these characters to be put in a position where everything is tested because that shows how they're going to overcome the obstacles. And that's a big part of storytelling. When you can literally withstand a nuclear blast and still walk away like nothing's bothering you, it's not interesting. Now, Jess here makes a very hot take saying manga beats comic book sales. And, I don't know if I'd go that far. So there's that. I don't know why I go that far. Well, I mean, no, technically, Jess isn't wrong. Manga is beating out comic book sales. Kids today are not reading comic books; they're reading manga, and that is a problem. So there's that. Now, MCAT here says it's true that in the beginning, Superman wasn't even that super strong, nor could he fly. He could jump real fucking far. There were limitations to his powers, and then he became, comic book Jesus. Rational Skeptic here says that I hate it when people say Man of Steel wasn't a proper Superman film because he killed Zod. But remember, Superman also killed Zod in Superman 2. Did he? I thought they just put him in the Phantom Zone. Let's see. Kill Zod in Superman 2. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, that's Man of Steel. All right. Superman didn't kill in Superman 2, according to, I don't know. I don't remember, like they just got him back to the Phantom Zone. I don't remember if he killed him or not, to be honest with you. So there's that. Let's see. It got beat by Captain Marvel on that list. That's pathetic. Well, yeah, that's kind of the whole point. It's like Superman. Look, Superman has its fans and old school Superman fans. All right. But the fact that and I'm sure that there are newer fans that like Superman, but like, look at the fact that Superman Returns, which was meant to capitalize on Richard Donner, was modeled after Richard Donner, used the same John Williams theme song as Richard Donner movies did. And it was meant to be Superman 2.5 and negate the other stuff. Still did not do well enough to warrant a sequel with Warner Brothers. It didn't sell with the audience because it didn't track well. Man of Steel made more money than Superman Returns. Remember that, guys. Man of Steel made more money than Superman Returns. And why? And then, but it's still heavily criticized by people that are like, oh my God, he killed Zod. Oh my, no. Because it was something that was accessible to the normie audience. It was accessible to the normie audience, in my opinion. He punches the powerless Zod off a cliff. Let me find that clip. Let's see if I can find that clip. Superman defeats Zod, Superman 2. So I can find that. I just want to find the clip of it. All right, we'll see this one here. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like the character, but I'm just being critical of the character because a lot of stuff there is just like, when I think about writing, I just get a little bit on the, it kind of bores me a little bit when I see the stuff, how it plays out. Well, let me take a quick look here. Hold on here. Okay, McLeod, $20, dude. Thank you so much. Says, that's why I love Superman and Lois. They managed to find a great balance with Zack Snyder's cynical approach and outlook on certain social issues and the visual aesthetic mixed with Superman's charm and hopefulness. Well, that's cool. See, I need to watch Superman and Lois. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet. So I need to watch it. Everyone tells me it's really good. If that's being, but I've heard also there was criticism against Tyler Hoechlin in the beginning, but apparently this is something that is a lot better. So I do need to give that a watch. Now, just a random, very intelligent Drake here says, Superman fan here, the best way to write Superman is not to test his powers, but to test his ethics. Yeah. And Bryan Singer's weird little boy obsession didn't help. Now, Kira, actually, there is an explanation for that scene. And once you know the explanation, it might change your opinion of it. I'll give you a quick rundown. So it was one of the crew members that worked on Superman Returns was telling the story earlier on in the production about how his wife and him had gotten a divorce. They had a son. And the only way his wife would let him see his son would be if she snuck him into the son's room when the son was asleep in order to let him look at his son that way. That was the only way this guy was able to see his son. That was the only way this guy was able to even interact at all with this child, but it wasn't even an interaction. He was like kind of stuck being on the outside, but he took whatever he could get in order to go and see his kid. And Singer took that and altered the ending of the movie to kind of, to kind of pay homage to that, to like the whole idea that Superman wants to be a dad. He wants to see his son, but he understands very similarly to how Jonathan Kent raised him that like, that's not going to be able to be the case right now. That it's best for this kid to have a normal childhood. Like he had a normal childhood. That wasn't a Bryan Singer weird little boy obsession. That actually was a true story that came from a cast member. So I understand, like, if you look at Bryan Singer and you look at it from like I don't know, the story aspect of it, I get that. But I was in the room at Comic-Con in 2006 after the release of this movie when he told that story to all of us next to Richard Donner. So it's like, and that's always kind of stuck with me because I always found that to be pretty sweet. Just as a nice little sweet story. But anyway, let's take a quick look here. I don't want to watch the whole thing. Let's just kind of get to where there's Zod. Neil.
Take my hand.
It might be a little low. I apologize.
Swear eternal loyalty to Zod. He switched it. He did it to them. I mean, the lights were on out here, while he was safe in there.
Hey, you know something? You're a real pain in the neck.
So they just straight fucking murdered those people. They just straight murdered those people. Like, oh, you know what? You have no powers. I'm gonna throw you. Yeah, no, they're probably dead. Oh my God. Anyway, Brian here, or Brandon, sorry, sir, says, do you find Black Superman take more interesting? No, I just look, that's going to be, look, man. The amount of hot takes that are going to come out of if they do Val Zod, right, or Calvin Ellis, they're not the same character. I mean, I don't know the characters, but like, look, the amount, you guys know the people that are going to run with that, and they're going to run it into the damn ground, and it's just going to be nothing. Like, that's going to take over the fucking culture war. That's what's going to happen. So yeah, no, I'm not too like, that's going to be, I'm not wading into that fight. Now Ryan Hartwell here says, it's not sad at all that kids are reading manga at all. They have more interesting stories compared to American comics. They also take more chances that cause Twitter to happen, which is true. And then Drake here says, I think what Snyder was trying to do with the Superman was explore choice and consequences, but that didn't really land with audiences because they expect a Superman who always makes the right call. And the thing is, you never make the right call all the time. And the whole point about, yeah, you're right. Clark's journey was about learning what it meant to become a human, and then learning to love humanity, and then wanting to protect humanity, and also to like earn its trust. That was the characterization of Superman in Man of Steel and BVS. I'm sorry, it's the best live action interpretation of that, in my opinion. Now, I haven't seen Superman and Lois, but like, I like the questioning of things. I like questioning why we do what we do and everything else in between. And it's like, because life is complicated. Life is very complicated. And the people who just want Man of Steel, Superman to stay Superman, they just want it to be in a box. They want it to be in a bubble. And that's not how life is. That's not how life is at all. Now, Gang of Heroes says, I think most writers don't understand Superman's genre. He is a hard sci-fi character like Star Trek. He is more interesting dealing with threats he can't punch his way through. Yeah, like, I'll tell you what I want, though. Like, in regards to the punching thing, there's the, what was it, the Justice League animated series where Superman, like, finally unleashes on Darkseid. Because he's always, like, basically, like, I pull my punches on everybody, but with you, I don't have to. And he just, like, eviscerates Darkseid by beating the shit out of him. That's something I want to see. That is a cool moment, because that is him going, like, I have had to pull my punches because all these other people are freaking meatbags, but you... oh, you're not a meatbag. You will be when I'm done. But like, that's the kind of thing I want to see. That to me is fascinating. Let's see here. Mouse Potato. I love your name, by the way. Says, just got here. Superman did become evil from dodgy Kryptonite Superman 3. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Let's see. What did, okay. Lord Slug here says, Manga is corrupting the child and turning them into weeds. Oh, manga. Yeah, I'm not that. Anyway, out of print here says, loved Christopher Reeve's portrayal. I did too, man. I did too. I'm just saying it's like, I'm just saying it's like, it's all the other stuff here. Oh, wait, is Enosh here? Hold on. It jumped ahead. On my way. Okay, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. There we go. Did I die again? Did it crap out again? All right. Still. Yeah. Anyway, hold on. There we go. Ryan here. Even if someone is super powerful, they need to have the flaws, like every character ever made. Maybe that someone can be emotionally conflicted with their actions and watch their consequences unfold. Yeah, no, that's fascinating. I'm not saying like he needs to be weak and beat to shit and like left to die on the side of the road. I'm not saying that at all. But there is a level of ambiguity I would like to see explored more often, especially in like live action takes and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like it's a more interesting take. It's just a more interesting world to live in. That's why I think Homelander on The Boys is as popular as he is, because he's evil Superman. He's evil Superman in live action. And he knows he's evil. And he plays up that he's evil, but he's also a very complicated character in regards to how he was made, how he was raised, and his very odd, sick, twisted fetish with breast milk. That was definitely weird. But all of that ties into the character of Homelander. And it's like, it's interesting because you always kind of want to see what he's going to do next because of the ambiguity of it. Whereas Superman, you know what he's going to do next. Hey, look, he's on his way to stop a nuclear missile from exploding over New York. Oh, but there's a cat in a tree. Hold on a moment. Eine Minuten, bitte. There you go, snowflake. And then he takes off and then he gets it in the nick of time. It's like, oh, wow, we've seen this before. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, my take. It's like boring television. It's boring television. It's predictable television. I understand that sometimes in life, predictability is a good thing. I get that. Not every time, though. Not all the time. Anyway, let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. Super Jeff Good Gamer says, same Superman beats Darkseid was the best fight on Justice League. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Sucker says Enosh doesn't want this heat. Nah, Enosh, I want to have a conversation with Enosh about this. Except Homelander is way less powerful than Superman. Yeah, but in the show, he's effectively Superman. Like the way he's presented, the way that he is portrayed, he's effectively Superman. Is he as powerful? No, but we don't know what his weakness is yet. We don't know how to hurt Homelander yet. And that's kind of part of the boys' journey, is to figure out how to bring him down, considering all the crap that he's done. So it's like, that's why the show also is fascinating, because it takes a lot of those tropes and it turns them on their ear. And I just think in that area, it's a lot more interesting storytelling. And maybe, you know what it maybe boils down to is that maybe some comic book writers, especially we've seen now in like the recent years of like some of the stuff, maybe DC is just too afraid in some ways to like, I mean, remember they did Batman Dark and it showed the outline of Batman's dick and people freaked out. Batman doesn't have a dick. We can't see Batman's penis. And it's like, it's just the outlines of his penis. I swear to God, all of you have watched pornography and seen another man's dick, do things your dick would never do. But seeing a drawn outline, a shaded, shadowy figure of Batman's flopping penis in the Batcave when he's taking off the Batsuit is the end of the world for some reason with some of these people. It is the most ridiculous double standard stuff I've come across. That's what I'm talking about. Here. Okay, hold on here. John Smith here, $5 says, thank you. Why doesn't DC get into manga? I think manga just gives you more pages for your buck and bookstores let you read them in store. Well, I mean, like DC, yeah, you do get more bang for your buck with manga. That is true. Those stories are interesting. And I buy some from Comic-Con. There's an American publisher called, I think it's like Arctic Press or something. And they do stuff that's kind of, I don't know, I want to say manga. They have a lot of books, little graphic novels, and I buy a lot of those from when I go there. And I like them quite a bit. Let's see here. Lord Slug says Homelander is probably the best version of evil Superman besides Ultraman. Yeah. Yeah. And then in the comics, but what about oh God, what's the guy from Invincible? Was that like what was his Omni-Man? Omni-Man, you know, like Omni-Man is oh my God, nuts. Dude, freaking nuts, man. Omni-Man is the shit. Like if you want to talk about evil Superman, that's evil Superman. You know what I mean? Like Omni-Man. My God. My God, that was amazing. Anyway, McLeod here, another $10. Thank you, sir. Says, love Henry Cavill's take on Superman in the DCEU, but Christopher Reeve will always be my Superman. The first film was my first intro into both Superman and superheroes. He's been number one my whole life. And I get that. Mine too. I remember watching Superman as a kid because my mom had recorded it off of ABC because it was like we were living in a mobile home. And I think my grandfather had bought us a VCR. And the first thing we recorded on that VCR was Superman. Right? It was Superman was the very first movie my mom recorded me on VHS when I was a kid. And I wish I still had that tape for just sentimental purposes. So I watched Superman a lot on VHS, the TV edit at least. And then I recorded a shitload of Unsolved Mysteries, but that was also, I've been into true crime and death my whole life. But it's like, I remember watching Superman being the very first one that I ever watched as a kid. And I adore that movie. And I adore Superman 2 and the Donner cut. But it's like, that is, for me, that's very cemented in being a kid and looking at it through the eyes of a child versus being someone who's near middle age and looking at the complexities of the world around us and not seeing those complexities reinforced through this character as this character is stuck in many ways, in many hands, which is why I find the darker aspect of it to be more fascinating. But I will say that my friend here coming on will completely have a different take than me. And what might happen next, I don't know. But let's dive into it. What's up, Enosh? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a fun day. I pissed off a lot of people on Twitter, which is why we're talking about this today.
Really? Well, guess what? Join the club because you're absolutely freaking right.
What? No. No.
Yeah, you are.
You can't. No.
Do you not watch my show?
I mean, like, what? No, I don't believe you.
You're like on my show. Have you not heard about how I've literally gone toe to toe with a bunch of a-holes on freaking Facebook because they're so far up Christopher Reeve's butt. Like, seriously, they don't know how to let anything go. Listen, Christopher Reeve was my Superman. I was born in 1976. My first memories are growing up with Superman. Superman 2 is in my top 5 movies of all time. Let it go. Let it go. Because here's the thing. I literally, Matt, have had to listen to people say things like, Christopher Reeve is the only Superman. He's the only person who can ever play Superman. In fact, what we should do is just get body doubles and just like put his face on every actor going forward so that we can always have the one true Superman. Get out of here with that. Seriously. Dude, you are absolutely right. I love the fact that you played the Superman 2 clip because look, listen, you're always going to get the people who are like, well, Richard Donner shot this scene that the Kryptonians were being taken by the Arctic police into custody. And look, Jim O'Halloran, who played Non, literally just came out in an article yesterday talking about he's got an idea for a spinoff of Superman 2 that like brings back the villains, but now they're heroes because they've been like I don't know, fixed or whatever in jail, and now they fight together with Superman. Listen, I love all those people. I melted like a child when I met Margot Kidder. I get it. I understand it, but you are absolutely right, Matt. It's a totally different era. It's a totally different take on Superman. I love all of Superman. Okay. And that's the problem here. Is people, they want to box Superman into their own little box of this was my Superman. So this is the only Superman that can be. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Nothing else, even though the character's been around since 1938. No, 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 no. Just mine. Well, tell me this. Because when people will say to me, well, I want the classic Superman back. I'm tired of this dark, mean, red-eyed Superman who just goes after people. Well, what do you mean when you say classic Superman? Because that doesn't mean anything. To say classic Superman doesn't mean anything. If you're a guy who's 40 and up, you probably mean Christopher Reeve. But Christopher Reeve was one spot. And here's the thing. They made all that stuff up. It wasn't even comic book accurate. All the stuff with everybody's like, he did such a great job as Clark Kent. I will give him this. The duality of the role. Christopher, first of all, can I just make clear, I am not taking anything away from Christopher Reeve here. Because
not at all.
Christopher Reeve was amazing as Superman. To this day, look, I'm sitting right here, man. And as always, like, I got Christopher Reeve stuff, man, sitting all around me, man, in here in my room. But here's the thing. For as great as Christopher Reeve was, and I see Christopher Reeve, I see Superman. I absolutely see Superman. They even drew Superman to look like Christopher Reeve for the longest time after the movie because he embodied what the comic book looked like. But as good as his acting was, like especially in Superman 2, when he has the moment where and I'll give you another hot take. I actually prefer the theatrical version. I don't like the Donner cut.
Really? That seems sacrilegious.
Every
to
time,
be fair.
every time. Well, because it's not. First of all, it's not really his cut. His you know, like it's not. Richard Donner didn't put that together. It's based on the information that was given. That like this is what we think it was or whatever. And plus, it's filled with cuts and rehearsals and audition parts and stuff that just totally take me out of the film. And I don't like it. I don't like the ending. I don't like all that stuff. Like I get it. The Richard Lester did more jokey, whatever. I get it. But you know what? Superman 2, the theatrical version, will always live in my heart as the definitive version.
That's the one that I remember more of as a kid. Because the last time I saw the Donner cut was like the Stan Lee's Fan Expo or Kamikaze in LA back in 2012. And Margot Kidder was there afterwards. She did a Q&A.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. That was really cool to see.
I've got the Donner cut right here next to me somewhere. Like seriously, like you know what I mean? Like this stuff. I don't say this stuff lightly, but like the moment where he tells Lois that he reveals to Lois that he's Superman, where he's in this big cardigan sweater. They're up at Niagara Falls, and he literally, she figures it out, and he does this thing, and he's all slumped over. Yeah. And all he does is straighten up. And he's freaking Superman in a cardigan. Like you can't take that away. I would never take that away from Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve was amazing. But here's the thing, guys. Christopher Reeve would turn over in his grave if he knew the way that his fans have reacted to actors who came after him, to fans of people who come after him, because well, you want to know a hot take? You may not understand. You may not know this, but actually, I'm putting a video together with Dawson, basically titled that Christopher Reeve would have loved to have been Zack Snyder's Superman.
Really?
Oh yeah,
that is a bit of a hot.
Oh
take.
yeah,
I mean, because I honestly have no idea. Like if that's
because the thing is there is plenty of articles of interviews with Christopher Reeve where Christopher Reeve said the one thing that he did not like about his Superman movies was that they were cheesy, was that the comedy was too much there, that they never took Superman seriously. Why do you think he did Superman 4? They screwed him over with Superman 4. He wrote that treatment for that. It was his story idea because he felt that Superman should be tackling real world issues. And dude, what was more real world in 1987 than the nuclear arms race? Okay, that was the whole point of that.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of what Christopher Reeve, he was not coming back. After Superman 3, he was done with it. He was literally done with the Salkinds. He was done with Richard Lester. He was done with everybody. He said, listen, I am not going to go put that cape on again because it's a joke, because that's all they've made of that now is, like you said, there's nothing wrong with looking at it through the eyes of a child, but that's all they did. And he was worried that they were not advancing the character.
Yeah.
Right. And so he was on record as saying he was not coming back. But then what they did was they gave him carte blanche and they said, well, what are your ideas then? And he said, well, this is my idea. And so he put that out there and they gave it to him. Problem is that then the Salkinds and Warner Brothers ended up having it turn. Well, the Salkinds lost it and Warner Brothers turned it over to Canon Films. And Canon, they took all the budget money for Superman 4. And what did they do? They planted it in Masters of the Universe. That's why Masters of the Universe, for as jumbled as it is, with script wise and everything else, it looks brilliant.
Yeah, it does look really awesome. Yeah, yeah.
You got lasers and you got, portals opening and you got all kinds of crazy stuff happening in the Masters of the Universe. And Superman 4 literally looks like I filmed it in my garage with a couple of action figures. I mean, it literally, there's a couple flying scenes that, it basically is just a flat scene of Superman doing this at the camera and just and he looks green. They didn't even color correct his costume, and so Canon Films really screwed the pooch on that. And it ticked Christopher Reeve off because it was his chance to do what he wanted to do because he wanted a serious Superman. He actually enjoyed the duality in Superman 3 when he is exposed to the synthetic kryptonite. And he comes back and he turns evil. He loved that duality. So what I'm saying is that it's not Christopher Reeve that is the problem. The problem is, dude, I have never seen people talk about Snyder Cut fans. Dude, I have not seen more vicious, opinionated, arrogant, and rude people that are literally these diehard Christopher Reeve cultists. Seriously, dude. I am part of 5 different groups on Facebook that are dedicated to Superman. And there's one, it's just Superman fans worldwide. It's for everybody. It's for anything. Somebody literally just yesterday posted a picture of Henry Cavill and they just said, I really appreciate Henry Cavill's, take on this. Now, this is supposed to be a place where you can post any Superman picture, anything about the Man of Steel, comic books, movies, anything. And they just said, I really appreciate Henry Cavill's take on Superman. Inundated. Wow. Post after post after post of one guy just came in right off the bat and he goes, yeah, well, most people don't agree with you. Most people like Christopher Reeve, and that suit is awful.
Oh, yeah. No, so here's the comment I left today on discussing film. Mm-hmm. The Grant Morrison thing. I said, hold on, I'll turn off the banner. I said Superman is kind of boring. Is kind of a boring character in most hands. At least this is interesting, and a lot of people came back at me and they're like, "You don't even read the comics. You don't You can tell this guy doesn't understand the character." And I'm like, that's not an argument, by the way.
Well, welcome to Enosh's schoolia. Okay. Okay, because Enosh is somebody who does read the freaking comics, and I just literally gave out on my channel this week the 6-part miniseries by John Byrne from 1986 when they re-imaged Superman after Crisis on Infinite Earths and gave him a new purpose where Clark was not the facade and the joke that they tried to make him out to be in the Superman movies, because Clark was never that. Clark was never meant to be this joke, whatever. Look, Christopher Reeve played that duality very, very well, but that was never Clark. Look at George Reeves in the 50s. Look at have you watched George Reeves? Those old?
Not I've seen them, but it's been again, I was a kid, Nickelodeon. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too. But now I've got the box sets, right? And so it's not something that I go back and watch religiously or whatever, because you're transporting yourself to a different time. Right. Yeah. And so it's you can see the fact that he's jumping, out a window off a trampoline, onto a mattress. Right.
And the thing is, I like that kind of stuff. So yeah. I have no problem with it.
No, I don't have a problem with it either. But it's you see through it. Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, watch George Reeves. Watch his Clark Kent. His Clark Kent is misogynistic. He's a guy. He's a 50s dude, man. He's got an arrogance to him. He's constantly ribbing on Lois. He is a man's man. And nobody's oh, well, he must be Superman because he's confident and he's like a real guy. That's not the disguise, folks. That is not the Superman is so Superman that people aren't looking for Superman in the mundane, in the regular dudes that they encounter every day. Plus, people want to make fun of the glasses all the time, you know, Matt,
Yeah.
as a disguise, whatever. And even I, as a Superman fan, said, yeah, you know, for years I said, yeah, you know what? It's a pretty bad disguise. You know what I mean? Like it's in disguise. If you're talking disguises and you're not covering your face as Superman, yeah, you know, it wears a little thin until I had to wear glasses for a short while. And I was part of our local city government quite a bit, and so I used to attend, you know, like city council meetings and business, you know, association meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I sat down once. I went to this meeting at this restaurant, and I go back into the back room, and I sit down. Well, I walk past this guy's table, this guy Jeff, and I've known Jeff for years. Matt, I was 400 pounds at that time, Matt. So I kind of stand out, right? Like
Yeah.
people see me and they know me. And I walked up to Jeff, and Jeff is sitting here talking to this guy at this table. And I said, and I'm wearing my glasses. And I looked down and I said, hey, can I sit here? And he looks up at me and he goes, yeah, sure. Okay. And like goes on and keeps talking. And so I sit down and I'm talking with them. And all of a sudden, this guy looks at me and he goes, Enosh? And I laughed out loud. I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought he was messing with me. He honestly didn't recognize me because of my glasses.
Yeah.
And I pulled the glasses off and he's like, oh my gosh, like it made such a difference. So like there's all those things. But if you look at George Reeves was an amazing Clark Kent, had nothing to do with that. That was all made up for the Superman, the movie, and you know, the Christopher Reeve era. But this right here, you want to talk comics, since 1986, when they revamped, that's what Man of Steel was based off of. Okay, was based off of the idea that they revamped Superman. This Clark Kent played on the football team. His parents didn't make him do stupid stuff like not be able to do, you know, regular stuff. He got to play on the football team. He got to do like other things and date. And when he came to Metropolis, he ends up meeting Lois. I mean, this series is amazing. If you've never read this series, read The Man of Steel. Ironic, isn't it? The Man of Steel event. It's 6 issues. Really easy to get. I got another set that I'm going to be giving away.
Yeah, I'm looking up the wiki on it right now. It sounds really good.
It is. It's really great. And here's the thing. That idea was continued for years throughout the comics. That was my favorite era of comics. In fact, in a couple of weeks, or next week, I'm interviewing Dan Jurgens on Poindexter Lounge. And Dan Jurgens, I feel like I'm Carrot Top half the time. I swear to God. Dan Jurgens was the guy who basically he created Doomsday.
Okay.
And he also created the character of Booster Gold. He was the one who, him and Jerry Ordway orchestrated the entire Death of Superman run. Okay. They were the ones who came up with the idea. They were the ones who did it. And that this Superman, this modern Superman that we have is thanks to them. And you want to hear something ironic? The guy who did all that, there's plenty of interviews out there with Dan Jurgens. He loves Zack Snyder's take on it. He loves Zack Snyder's take on the character. And you're absolutely right, Matt. Zack Snyder's take on this character is the best incarnation. When I came out of Man of Steel, I came out of that movie. First of all, I thought that movie was going to blow up because it finally, I thought, answered everybody's complaints about Superman.
Yeah.
Finally. Oh, well, there's no action. There's plenty of action. He doesn't have anything that he has to overcome. He has a lot of stuff he has to overcome. What are Superman's problems? You see them right there in the movie. And I thought, this is going to blow up. This is amazing. I walked out and then you know what I got? I got the exact opposite of what we heard when Superman Returns came out. When Superman Returns came out, everybody was like, why are they going back to the Christopher Reeve style? Why doesn't he punch anything? Why doesn't he fight anything? He doesn't do this and that. And I thought, this answers that finally. No, I got to hear, why didn't they use the Christopher Reeve theme song? I really like that theme song. Like, why didn't they use that? Why doesn't he have red trunks?
Yeah.
By the way, I love the red trunks, and I think that they could probably do the red trunks. I'm not dying on that hill. It's not that he's not Superman, just because he doesn't have red trunks.
That's not a good hill to die on.
No,
to be fair.
And so, dude, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree.
I thought you were going to come in and fight me. I'm not kidding you. Like, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to piss off Enos.
Absolutely not. No, man. I grab your hand in solidarity and I say, let's fight this freaking war because all right, get over it.
Yeah, I mean, like, because here's the thing: is like I said that, and then people like are acting like I don't like the character. No, I like the character. But again, it's like, as a person who is near middle age, I like my characters to kind of represent where I'm at, I guess I should say. Maybe that's my take on it. But it's like, I just find when you have ultimate power, like I find it better from a storytelling perspective when that ultimate power is corruptible, because that is how life is, right? And it's like, how would you handle that? And I'll tell you this, I think that's why so many people love the nightmare stuff in Justice League and in BVS, because it shows you what happens when Superman goes full on rogue and like doesn't give a shit. And you're like, well, okay, now we're in for it. How do you fight something? How do you fight God is effectively it, you know? And like, that is something I think a lot of people just don't want to kind of grapple with. And for me,
and all these questions, dude, coming through your chat right now.
Yeah.
They're everybody thinks, oh, I got a new one. Ooh, I got one that'll stump them. Oh yeah, what about the fact that he makes out of ground zero? And Shifty Gizm knows I love him, but I'll give Shifty Gizm a hard time every time. But it's like that. Well, like, okay, look, the Injustice Superman is a Superman story. Is it main canon timeline? No, it's not.
But
it's
people really
story.
like it. People really like it.
But there are people who really like it, and I don't understand why people can't let people enjoy that story. Things in comic books change. People don't get this, Matt, and it blows my mind. Do you realize Bruce Wayne has quit being Batman? I don't even know how many god awful times. Like, he's had his back broken, he's been put under, other people have come up and been Batman, and he had to come back and fight them. When Azrael took over as Batman, he was just, Jean-Paul was just way too, I mean, he was like vicious, right? And so, Bruce Wayne had to train, come back and fight him and take back the mantle. Dick Grayson has been Batman. Like, all this other things change in comic books, folks. It's a story. It's a part of the story, right? And so you don't need to get your panties in a bunch because something happened in a movie or something happened in a TV show or something happened in a comic book, because things will change, right? So the thing about Zack Snyder's Superman is this. First of all, in Man of Steel, you're seeing Superman day one on the job. Day one.
Yeah.
He and on his first day, he finds out that his only connection to his history, to his background, his planet, he finds out all this information. He finds out that his only connection to that is basically come to Earth to terraform the entire planet, destroy it, kill all the humans on it, and all they want, the only reason they call him out is not to take him down, but to have him join them. Zod was going to do that regardless. If Kal-El came forward or not, it didn't matter. I literally saw people complain. People just complained the other night in our chat and was like, well, that's so dumb. Why has he got to hesitate? And he has to go to his priest and all this stuff. Well, yeah, he went to his pastor. And you know why? Because he's a farm boy raised in Kansas in the middle of the Bible Belt. And I'm sorry if it offends you, my God, that the guy would probably have been brought up with Christian values and that his church would mean something to him. And that, yes, even Superman would not just inherently know what the right thing to do is, what the right call is to make every time just because he's Superman. Matt, you put it so well. It's like, here's some nuclear missiles going either way, and they're going to destroy half the country. But there's a kitty cat, and I can do it all. I can save everybody. No, the point is,
but is
you save who you can save. You're
isn't that
perfect.
the whole point of BVS is like that is a big part of the subplot of Superman in that movie, and I love that subplot because it is about him questioning like, I can't do it all, I can't do everything. Who do I pick? Who do I save? And then that ties back into Man of Steel when it's like Jonathan Kent goes, well, maybe you don't.
Exactly.
And it's like again, it's that moral ambiguity that you just have to like live with these consequences. And I like that because again, like I love Man of Steel. I went into it thinking it was going to suck because I didn't like the trailers for it. Blew my mind. Loved it. BVS, well, not theatrical, but I loved the Ultimate. I love Snyder Cut's Justice League. So it's like, I mean, it's this character, you see the arc and you can tell it in a way that it will explore him as a character. Cause like again, it's like, do you want Clark Kent or do you want Superman? And I'm going to be honest with you, Enosh, I want more Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I want more Clark Kent because Clark is human.
Yes.
Kal-El is not.
Yep.
And that is the world he lives in. That is the world that I live in. And that of course boils down to like, you know, it's
what
kind of
makes Superman so great, Matt, is that Clark wants to be human more than anything.
yeah.
He grew up here. He was adopted here. He lived his life here. And so, yes, he wants to have that connect. That's why Lois is so important, because Lois keeps him grounded. Lois gives him that contact point that he needs to keep his sanity
And
in the
she
midst of
accepts him.
Yes, in the midst of everyone trying to tell him that he just should know what to do. And Shiftyism, I love you, man, but like I just saw here, like don't waste your time going to church. Come to your own conclusion. You know is right. That's not how the real world works, man. You don't just always know what the right thing to do is. If that was happening, and this is the way I put it, if that happened tomorrow, and this is the same thing with like people doubting Superman. Look, in the Christopher Reeve movie, what happens? Superman goes on his first night of patrol. He catches a burglar. He stops some guys who are, shooting stuff up and robbing stuff and get on a boat. He saves a kitty cat, literally. He does all this stuff, and everybody's just like, whoa, awesome. This guy's got superpowers. Wow, that's super cool. You all know in your heart of hearts that if a dude showed up tomorrow with godlike powers, flying around, able to do the stuff that Superman was able to do, everybody would be scared to death. They'd want to know who he sides with. They'd want to know what political leanings he had. They'd want to know, could they trust him or not? Exactly what Batman struggles with in BVS.
Yep.
All those things. And here's the thing. Clark is not even the Superman that we all know him to be. That was the whole point of Zack Snyder's arc. And this is the shame of why Warner Brothers squashed it and hasn't finished it yet, because we get in the middle of this crap, right? And people are already making judgments about Zack Snyder's Superman, when Zack himself said by the time he got to the end, he was going to be the Superman you all recognize, but he needed to earn it. He was going to show the journey of what gets him to that point where, yes, he can make better decisions because he's been there. He's earned it. But Clark literally, like, having only wore the suit at that point, like, what, once? Like, no, he's faced with, hold on, these people from my planet came, they want me to turn myself in, or they're going to do damage to the planet, they're going to hurt people. What's my strategy? He doesn't have, he can't go to the back to the Hall of Justice and talk it over with everybody. He doesn't have anybody else to go over that with. He tries to talk it over with his mom, and he gets some help from his mom too, and that's why his mom tells him, look, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
he's trying to get help. Like, he's trying to talk to those around him, because Superman is not arrogant. He doesn't think that he just knows it all. And that's what's great about it. And
yeah,
I don't understand why people don't, why don't people see that? And as well, you can read that super chat.
Well, I'm gonna, there's the super chats I haven't gotten to yet, which is why I haven't been looking at the chat, because I'm like, we've been on this for a little bit. I want to get to those here, but let me just kind of point one thing out real quick. While we're talking about Zack Snyder, because I know I have to. Do you remember the teaser poster for Man of Steel?
Yeah.
This right here?
Yes.
This right here is like one of my favorite parts of that whole movie.
Yep.
Because he's doing that voluntarily.
Yes.
To earn trust.
Yes.
To earn the trust of the people. And like that goes, I mean, that right there, like that got people talking about this movie. And that's the whole point. Like, when you look at the way that this character is, and this is why I like Cavill, is the portrayal of the character that I like the most. And apparently Tyler Hoechlin, is that Hoechlin?
Hecklin.
Hecklin. Thank you. Apparently, he's doing a really good job. That's what I'm hearing. I haven't watched Superman and Lois yet.
He's doing a much better job than he did on Supergirl when they because when they first introduced him, they made him basically a jobber. Which I don't know if I know you're not big into wrestling, but a jobber is basically like when we used to watch wrestling in the 80s and it'd be like Macho Man Randy Savage versus Phil Johnson, right? Like some guy in a tank top that like nobody knew, and you knew that Macho Man was just going to like wipe the mat with him because that's what he was there for. They call him a jobber. You do the job. You just, you know, you go out there and do it. Okay. And that's basically what they turned Superman into was basically he was a jobber to Supergirl. Every time he fought somebody on Supergirl, he got beat. Like it was sad and pathetic. And that was the thing was like, it was starting to tick me off because first of all, they had Lois at that time, you know, telling him stuff like Lois should always give Clark a hard time, right? Should always tease Clark. She calls him Smallville. You know what I mean? She ribs him and stuff like that. But like Lois was absolutely downright vicious. She was saying stuff that I'm sorry, man. If my woman was saying that stuff to me, I'd be out of there because that's not a woman that loves you. When your woman looks at you and goes, Clark, the world doesn't need you. It's got Supergirl.
Wait, that's an
what?
That's not what.
Excuse me?
Who wrote that crap?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like,
Greg Berlanti. That's
like,
right.
The world doesn't need Superman. I look, I get it. You know, there could always be tensions, but what? Right. And then like when they literally wrote in the first season, Matt, where there was an issue where the whole first season was based around that there was a Kryptonian prison here on Earth, right? And I get it. Superman doesn't need to be in the show because it's not Superman's show, right? That's fine. But when you start bringing Kryptonian lore into it and Kryptonians, now you're writing yourself into a corner because Superman would absolutely be all over that. If he's here, and they wrote him off for a while by saying he was off planet, so you could explain that away. But when it came down to the end of the season, Matt, they had made this thing where there was a frequency or there was something going out that mind controlled all the humans, and so the Kryptonians were trying to get all the humans to walk to this place just outside of town. So it was like you saw this graphic of like thousands of people just walking down the street towards this one place because they were being mind controlled. Well, they're trying to figure out how to fight it, and they can't figure it out. And one of the things that they said was, well, why isn't Supergirl being affected? And they said, well, because she's Kryptonian. So this won't affect Kryptonian, people with Kryptonian DNA because whatever they were using. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, then they show this thing way off in the distance. You see Superman flying out. You see this little CGI Superman flying towards the camera. And he gets about right here because they didn't have an actor for him yet. He stops and he floats down. And he goes to the sidewalk and he starts walking with all the humans. It was like, wait, what? That's
said, weird.
Yeah, they said Kryptonians couldn't be susceptible to it. Do you know what their official statement was in the show? Because somebody goes, well, why is Superman being affected? Well, he was raised here and he just watched way too much Sesame Street as a kid. I didn't realize watching Sesame Street changed your DNA. I would have thought that if you were born on Krypton and you're Kryptonian, full-blood Kryptonian, it should be the same rules. I mean, Supergirl, they established, came here when she was like 12, and she had grown up the rest of her life here. What? So,
yeah. You tell me Supergirl never saw Sesame Street?
Yeah, like it was so dumb, dude. And then they went out of their way. You just showed the three Kryptonians, right? Zod, Non, and Ursa. Okay, so they had a character playing Non in that thing, and because they didn't have Zod, and Non was taking over the whole thing, and Non says to Kara in a scene, "Well, Kal-El knelt before me, and so will you." And I almost threw something at my TV. I was like, heck no. You're going to tell me that Superman won't kneel before Zod, but Superman will kneel before Non? Get out of here with that junk. But here's the thing. They've turned it around. They've turned it around with Lois and Clark, or with Superman and Lois. And so I believe Tyler Hoechlin's digging his way out of that. The only thing really that I don't like about Superman and Lois is the costume, because the costume is just really bulky. And
Yeah.
so
Oh,
like
yeah.
when he
His
moves,
head.
like the muscle suit like moves with him,
Yeah.
like like apart from him, I should say. And so it looks like he's wearing like one of those inflatable Halloween costumes. Yeah,
Turtle.
exactly. And so like
Yeah.
if they would get rid of that, but here's the thing. All these people are like, "Oh, well, I like that better than Zack Snyder's evil Superman and Justice." You know what the whole story is based on this season? Is
No.
that is that when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, they had an evil black suited Superman from another dimension who came and was trying to kill everybody. And so basically what they said this season was that happened on that Earth. John Henry Irons, who is Steel in the comics, came to our Earth from that. He's a remnant left over from the Crisis on Infinite Earth story. He comes here and he believes that our Superman here, like our Tyler Hoechlin Superman, is going to side with a bunch of Kryptonians and try to take over the planet and turn evil. And guess what? It's happening. So, like, but
Yeah,
the people hear that because it simply is not Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
And so it's the same exact thing. He's literally joining with a bunch of other Kryptonians. They took the Morgan Edge character and they turned him into a stand-in for Zod, because now he's like supposedly stepbrothers with Kal-El, and he's been a Kryptonian this whole time, and he's wearing a black outfit with an emblem on his chest looking like Zod from Man of Steel. And it's like, but you all love that. Okay. Sure.
So what you're really saying is that Superman fans will just never be happy.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, it is all like a different run. And I think maybe part of the problem, and if we look at this from just like a multimedia perspective, right?
Yeah.
Is that there's been multiple incantations of the character. And I think people just want some kind of like continuity, and they want some kind of like, I don't know, like comfort in the continuance of one particular presentation, right?
But there's never going to be that. Like,
Yeah.
even with Superman and Lois, because Rodney gave you a $2 super chat, but I'll answer that real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I love the show Superman and Lois, and you know what? One of the things I love about it is I love the fact that they have kids. I love the fact that it shows a different dynamic for Superman and Lois, and I should say Clark and Lois, because I don't like the title of the show, because Superman and Lois kind of infers that Superman is the person, and it's Clark. That, but you can't obviously call it, Clark and Lois or whatever, because the old show. So I get that part, but I love the fact that they've got kids. I mean, and it's mimicking stuff that's been in the comics for the last few years since they did the Rebirth storyline and they introduced Jonathan Kent into the story. And so I like the idea of Superman being a dad. I like that. I like this much better than the way that they did it in Superman Returns by giving him Jason, where they give him this illegitimate son that he can't even really have a relation. I mean, he can have a relationship with him, I guess, but like you can't root for Superman and Lois and them all and Jason to be a family, because Richard White's a good guy in that movie, so you're going to break up a family.
But even that, again, it goes back. That's one of the aspects of Superman Returns I really liked.
Yeah.
Because it brings up this, like, it's kind of like, I will say, like, it's kind of like the stepdad aspect of it. And like that was, I mean, if you go and you watch, like, let's say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, like that whole line from Yondu, like, he might be your father, but I'm your daddy.
Yep.
And then I asked James Gunn, I'm like, so was this really kind of like an homage to like stepdads or to dads? And he goes, it's really to like all dads everywhere. It's like stepdads, foster dads, all that. And that's what he wanted to do with that. And I kind of think like, seeing Superman and I lost my train of thought. I had a point. I lost. It's okay. No, it's been okay.
And for once, I didn't talk over you.
No. I had a point I was trying to get to here with that. I really honestly did. And then I just blanked on what it was.
Well, back to what you said though about like people are wanting one continuity. Here's the deal, guys. There's never going to be one continuity for Superman. You're going to have some stories where Superman has kids now. You're going to have some stories where Superman turns evil. You're going to have some stories where Superman is more grounded. You're going to have some stories where Superman is that perfect, stereotype, whatever, and can't do any wrong, whatever. And here's the thing. I love it all. But what I don't like is listening to people sit there and gripe and complain constantly because it's not their Superman and it's not the real Superman unless it's their Superman. Well, I'm sorry, honey, but you know what? it's not ever going to be just your Superman. So just learn to love Superman,
Sure.
and you'll be a much happier person.
And I'll tell you which one has me the most excited, to be honest with you. And I really want to get your take on this. But this version of Superman, this version,
oh dear God,
I know how much you hate that.
oh dear God. So RJ's not here. RJ's not here. RJ and I went round and round about that picture when it came out. And I actually messaged RJ yesterday a picture of this shirt, right? Because he said, well, what would you have wanted to see? You know, like, because I said, that's a horrible first picture for a Superman. I said, the show could actually be good, but that's a horrible first picture. Superman looking emasculated, like Lois literally like manhandling him and stuff like that. And yet, remember at the same time, we got that picture of the new Batman's cartoon that's coming out, and his Batman looming over the city. Like, it looked like a serious take on Superman, didn't it? Or Batman, I'm sorry. It looked like a serious take on Batman. Ooh, wow, they're going to take Batman seriously. He's looming over the city. I told RJ yesterday, because I just got this shirt, I said, because look at there. You got Superman looming over the city. You got this classic Superman. This is the way Superman has been drawn for the last, like, 30 plus years in the comics or whatnot, right? I mean, there's been some deviations. So before y'all come at me and like, well, he looked like this. This has been like and when you see t-shirts, when you see promotions, when you see, you know, knick-knack stuff, this is what you see. If this was what they did, this would have been a serious take on Superman. That right there, that gives me no hope for that. And it's not because I think it's just, you know, I'm not being like the fandom menace where it's just like, oh, it's going to be SJW crap, whatever. No, it's just that nothing about that. Why would that be your first picture for a Superman show? My Adventures with Superman. Why would anybody even like look at that and go, ooh, I'm so excited to watch Superman in a cartoon now? I mean, unless you're literally making it for 4-year-olds, I don't know. And look, there's nothing wrong if you're making it for 4-year-olds, like whatever, but you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure Fandom will give us a trailer. And that's only that's like 3 months away. So I'm sure Fandom will have something interesting to say about it at the time.
I was going to show this on my channel, but I'll show you a picture I took yesterday. We were out toy shopping and stuff, and we went to Target, and I wanted to do a side-by-side kind of meme of my own and take a picture of Zack Snyder's Justice League team, you know, standing there or whatever, and then be like, but this is what everybody wants and expects. Right there. That's what everybody like. This is our comic book heroes. It's comic books. I can't stand it being super serious. Look, I need smiley, happy Superman with an S curl. And if I don't get that, well, then you know what? It's not really Superman. So
I don't know. My daughter likes the little people things. I might have to go pick it up for her.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Like, it's good for all kids, right? Like, would I show a 4-year-old or like somebody that's for like Injustice? No, but there's a Superman for everybody. There's a story for everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't know what my Adventures of Superman is going to be.
You're just such a hypocrite. Get out of here.
All right.
Get out of here. Dude, you hit on a couple of topics the last couple of days. I am such a hypocrite. Why? Because I'm a realist? Because what I said was absolutely the truth? Come at me, bro.
Wait,
Seriously.
hold on. Who is saying that?
That was Dark Beast. If you're being serious,
I mean, Hank, I'll send you a link if you want to come in, but such
a hypocrite. Look, people can like whatever they like. I'm not telling you can't like it. If you like it, great. I will support that because I like it all. So I don't know how I'm a hypocrite when I literally like it all. All I'm saying is get out of here with this idea of that's not Superman, because it absolutely is Superman, and you're going to have to deal with it for a long time coming forward.
All right. Well, hey, let me get to. I know I missed a shot of a lot, and I feel it's been a good conversation, and we've maintained pretty decent viewership. So I appreciate everybody just off the bat. But when there's a good convo, I don't want to kind of cut it up and jump right in. Anyway, John Smith here, $2 says a good Superman story is just Ted Lasso with power. Now I haven't seen Ted Lasso yet, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about the show. I know that it's a show. Jason Sudeikis plays like a soccer coach. but who's never like taught soccer or who has no experience in the game or something. So like, but it's Jason Sudeikis, so it's going to be good.
Heck yeah.
Rational Skeptic here says, I would love it if you did a critic of Steve Shives' Snyder cut his worst video. Oh my, I don't want to, like, if I don't have to go after Steve Shives, I don't want to go after Steve Shives. I'm just saying, it's like, I don't like, everyone is blocked by Steve Shives. I'm pretty sure you're blocked by Steve Shives.
I don't even know who Steve Shives is.
Okay, so Steve Shives is an atheist. He's part of the Atheist Plus community. It is a whole thing on like the commentary side of YouTube and like the Atheist Plus side of YouTube. And more or less what it is like he is a super ultra mega leftist who is probably borderline an actual cuck. And he blocks everybody. I'm blocked, like I'm blocked by him. I've never interacted with him. I'm blocked by him. But like he is oh my God. Yeah, he's like a more annoying version of Lindsay Ellis and with really shitty takes. So, but I've seen some of his Star Trek commentary and I kind of like don't hate it. So, I mean, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day, I guess. Right. But yeah, no one likes Steve Shives, like not even his friends like Steve Shives. I have not had to deal with that man in a long time. Maybe Rationals, if you could DM me that video on Twitter, we may take a look at it later on this week on whatever.
Real quick, Dark Beast says, Enosh, I like it all, but this is garbage. I can still have an opinion. I'll absolutely, you know what? I'll absolutely give it to you. I'll absolutely give it to you, man. I will absolutely be your hypocrite for you by saying, yes, I have an opinion about what I like on Superman too, right? But here's the thing. I watch Christopher Reeve stuff and I absolutely love it. I watch the new show. I love it. I love the Dean Cain stuff. I love the Superboy show back in the 80s, man. I love the cartoons. You guys were talking earlier about that Dark Side moment, man, where he's like, you know, like, yeah. I have to pull my punch. I love that. And I love everything that came before it. I love the 80s Ruby Spears things. I love Super Friends. All I'm saying about this, Dark Beast, that picture is just a bad picture. Like I said, the show could be good. Am I going to watch it? Absolutely. But here's the thing. That's not on the thing itself. That's on the people who made it, like making a really bad choice.
It's like the CalArts style. I'm not a fan of the animation style myself.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the animation style.
But then again, we watched the Jellystone trailer last night, and I think it looks funny.
Yeah.
So, and then I was the only one in the panel last night that thought it looked funny. Everyone else thought it looked terrible. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just finding humor in this because I've grown up watching Yogi Bear and I love Yogi Bear.
Oops, I lost that. Is that him or me?
I've cut out.
Okay,
It's me. Yeah, I literally, while you were talking, I just ordered a new like network adapter and a 50-foot effing Ethernet cable to run from my modem around into my room. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of StreamYard. Like I stream every night.
Yep.
And I love streaming and it just derails everything. And it's like not fair to the audience or me who pays money. And it's not my internet because I'm pulling in like 400 megabytes down and like 20 megabytes up.
Yep.
So something's going on. Anyway, Matt Jarbo's left and right nipples, aka Law and Order.
I love these names.
Oh, you know this Tom Hanks ball sack, like it's him.
Yeah, exactly.
But I am gonna name my nipples Law and Order. Like, there we go. That was great. That was so funny.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'm gonna miss so many of these things. Okay. Oh, son of a bitch. All right. The hold on here. The StreamYard reset. I was holding on to the chat so I could go back and get it. I'm going to need to go through whatever else people have said because unfortunately it went back and totally screwed up. So, okay. Todd Fayer, $5 says happy. Hey, Matt and Enosh, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you as well. Todd, hope you had a good one, man. I spent the day with my family. That was a lot of fun. Don't know about you. Pretty sure you guys did the same thing.
Yep.
All fireworks were kind of banned in the county because of the heat wave we just had, and that didn't stop people. Stuff's been blowing up.
We had tons of fireworks here. My dogs were my dogs were on CBD treats, so they were pretty chill, except for Wookie. Wookie was kind of Harley Quinn. She was pretty actually chill. She's usually the excitable one, man. Wookie was kind of freaking out, but
Yeah.
he's all right.
Well, like that was the thing is like a couple years ago, my neighbors behind us, they would party for like 2-3 days straight every 4th of July. And I mean, I'm not even kidding you. It would be like 5 a.m, explosions, loud music, gunshots.
Yeah.
Because you can legally fire guns in the county, provided you're aiming at a target. Well, it's like they live on the outsides of a swamp. Like there's a kind of a swamp between them and another property, and then the other property behind them. So it's like they're just shooting into the water, which is a really bad idea. But and then they got booted out, thankfully, and the new guy is back there, and he's like, it was quiet. Like
unless you get lucky and like you shoot a hole in the ground, up from the ground comes a bubbling crude. Then
only if he did that on my property. Yeah, only did that on my property. That'd be great if I like. Yeah. But anyway, all right. Thank you very much, Todd McLeod. Another $10 says wanted to double back to Superman and Lois. Tyler Hoechlin has been killing it as Superman. I'd place him in a tie for second with Henry Cavill as a favorite Superman portrayal. I mean, I haven't seen it, but again, I've been hearing this from a lot of people about how the show is really good, and and I believe you about because I always heard that his portrayal in the Supergirl was like pretty lame. And he was attacked for like being Hispanic by some people.
And he's not even Hispanic. He's Native American.
Yeah. Who was
Jody?
Our friend from the corner. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember seeing that snippet running around there because hey, that's good, right? Assholes.
Yeah.
Anyway, John Smith, another $5 here. Thank you. Says I think there's a huge middle ground between only Reeves and people who think Superman is interesting if he goes nuts. Both sides are annoying. Yeah, I get that. And I'm not saying like he has to go full blown, Injustice Superman. But I mean, the arc he was on with Cavill and Zack Snyder's films, I think was perfect. And here's the thing. I'm not a religious person. I'm not. I very much am openly against a lot of organized religion. But one of my favorite scenes in Man of Steel was when he went and talked to his pastor. Because I understand the moments of like, again, the not knowing what to do and just seeking guidance wherever you can, whether it is a pastor or a friend or your mother, like those elements I think were always good. And, and like even Daredevil the TV series, like the pastor or the priest being like that, knowing who he is, knowing what he is and still accepting him and offering like the moral advice, trying to keep him out from going full blown into darkness. And I think anyone can pull you back from the edge. But again, it's the question of like, what do I do? Because how many times in our own lives do we ask those questions on just the most mundane of things? Like, do I put pepperoni on this pizza or pineapple? I don't know. Like it's a very facetious example, but we all have those moments in our life about like, what do we do in moments of dire need? And we go to people that we trust. And again, you're right. Him being a farm boy in Kansas, most likely growing up Christian, and having those values. And then those values are something that are, kind of passed through him and what he wants to kind of build upon, give back to the world.
Exactly.
And so I like that moment in Man of Steel quite a bit. So I can find beauty in those scenes, even though I'm diametrically opposed to like a lot of the overall aspect of it. Maybe it's just that I'm more agnostic, but
one thing also, you talk about Superman and Lois, the show. So here's something that shows me when people don't get the initial intention for Superman. Okay. Read those first few comics, like read Action Comics #1, right? Obviously the only way you're going to get a hold of it is to get, really cheap reprint nowadays. But unless you got the $4 or $5 million or whatever, or was it $8 million?
It was a lot. Yeah.
Good God. I don't know how it's pronounced, but MKAD, is it MCAD or McCAD, says, what was good in Superman and Lois is the old cartoon suits they made. So it was pretty cool because they showed him in a suit very similar to the 1940s Fleischer cartoons, right? With that S and all this stuff. But here's something interesting that I thought about. First of all, they made that suit very light blue, and one of the discussions I had with somebody in one of these groups is because they said, I don't like Henry Cavill's suit because it's too dark blue. They need to go back to the classic. Well, if you go back to the classic, those Fleischer cartoons and those early comic books, his suit's dark blue. It's not light blue. But even beyond that, The famous scene on Action Comics #1 where he's got the green car, above his head,
Yeah.
right? And he's not saving that car. This is what people don't get about Superman. He's not saving that car. Now look on Superman and Lois, he saves a green PT Cruiser, which they tried to go for that old aesthetic. I had a PT Cruiser, man, forever. It's kind of cool. But he's saving this green PT Cruiser, right? In that same way and putting it down. In Superman Returns, what does he do? What was that? Was it a GTO or was it a Mustang that she was driving, and Lex cut the brakes or whatever, and so Superman has to go save her, right? And
in Returns.
yeah, in Returns, yeah.
Yeah,
was it a Mustang?
It was a Mustang. It was a green Mustang.
Yeah,
and by the way, I also really love that scene in that movie too.
Yeah, it's cool. But the thing is, again, in that scene too, what's he doing with the green car? They keep saying that they're paying homage to Action Comics #1 because Superman takes the car and he sets it down, right? And he saves the girl. Go back and take a look at Action Comics #1. What is Superman really doing in Action Comics #1 in that cover? He is not saving that green car. He is slamming that green car into whatever it is. It rocks. It's been a while since I've seen it's like rocks or into the road or whatever. He's slamming it into because there were gangsters in the car and people are running away. The guy is he's got his hands like this and he's running away from Superman because Superman's pissed off and he's slamming the gangster's car into the ground. He's not saving people in that car. And throughout that whole first comic book, he goes after wife beaters. My gosh, he's going after everybody, man, taking everybody down. And he's pissed off and he's just look, we're not going to put up with this anymore because Superman was originally envisioned to be a man for the people, a savior for the people who was on ground level, who just did the things that we couldn't do. And look, you showed it. I don't care how you spin it. Superman, Christopher Reeve in Superman 2, he flat out kills them. Okay. I don't care what deleted scene there is. I don't care what Arctic police you think came and got Zod and Non and Ursa. They're dead. Here's the thing. Superman literally puts on this whole, anytime somebody tells me, well, I don't like Henry Cavill's because he's so mean and evil and so angry and self-centered and all this stuff. Really? Because what I see in Superman 2 is, and mind you, I love it. I think it's a great scene. But Superman does the whole scene that you just said. He reverses it, takes away their powers.
Yeah.
So shouldn't have Superman, being Superman that everybody remembers Christopher Reeve to be, shouldn't Superman just have stepped out of that chamber and been like, ha, I fooled you. I was in here. Here we go. I'm taking you in. No, he doesn't do that, does he? He literally walks up there, looks all disheveled, wins an Oscar for acting like he's the weakest powered man on the planet. He goes up there and Zod says, now kneel. And it's a great moment, man. Terrence Stamp, that whole thing is such a great moment. But think about what that moment really is, because Kal-El kneels, Superman kneels before Zod, takes his hand. And what's he do to a defenseless person? Mind you, Zod, yes, did some horrible things, but Zod is now a defenseless, powerless human. And Superman exacts judgment against him by crushing his hand into a million pieces, picks him up, holds him over his head, and throws him with his powers into an ice shelf. And then disappears into a cloudy hole. We have no idea what was down there. Dude, even if the guy is still alive, you get thrown into an ice shelf by Superman and see if you don't have broken bones, internal injuries, something, okay? He's messed up. And then from there, man, he does one of the most, oh my gosh, the most un-Superman-like things. It makes for a funny scene. It's hilarious. I'm glad it's in there. But based on these people's wisdom, it's the most un-Superman-like thing it could ever be. He goes back to that truck stop where that trucker beat the crap out of him when he didn't have superpowers. He incites a fight with the guy, right? He goes in there to pick a fight with that trucker. takes him, lets the guy punch him and break his own hand. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I've heard. Well, Superman didn't break that guy's hand. The guy broke his own hand by punching him. Okay, whatever. So lets him break his hand, but after inciting him, picks him up, puts him up on the counter, spins him around, spins him around on the chair, picks him up, puts him up on the counter in his food, pushes him down the entire length of that thing into a pinball machine where the guy's at least got a concussion by the way the guy's, comically like going, and you hear doot, 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 tilt and everything else. But he also goes through the glass on the top of that pinball machine. Like the guy in real life would have lacerations. He'd be cut up. He'd have like the pointy things inside the pinball machine, like puncturing him, and he'd have at least a concussion. And Superman did that to a human being. Can you imagine if Henry Cavill Superman did that, Matt?
Well, no, the thing is, here's the thing with that though too, is remember in Man of Steel, the whole thing with the truck, with the truck driver hitting on that waitress and then pouring the beer on Superman, and he goes out there and just like tears up his truck and puts it in a tree or in a power line or whatever.
Yeah.
And like people got real mad. I remember people got real mad about that. Like the Superman would never do that. And all like that Clark's a petty bitch. Let's be fair. All right. Like go back to Superman 2. He literally goes back just to beat the crap out of the guy. Like, again, like
notice Henry Cavill's Superman doesn't actually physically engage with the guy. The guy pours a beer over his head, does the whole thing. He doesn't beat the guy up. He doesn't take it on the guy. He goes outside, wraps his truck around a couple of poles,
Yeah, and just to do all that. Now the thing is with Batman, right? Batman doesn't kill. You telling me that when he beats the crap out of people, like there's not any broken bones or internal bleeding or concussions or anything like that? Like, I mean, come on, like there's permanent damage. I'm pretty sure he's paralyzed a few mofos. So like the moral like conflating over these things are really nitpicky, especially when we look at it from like a multimedia perspective. Because I'm sorry, no one complained about Michael Keaton's Batman killing people in both movies.
Nope.
No one complained about him taking the Batmobile into the Acme plant and dropping the bombs out of the tires and then blowing up the Acme plant with all those dudes inside and then taking off in the Batmobile.
And there's machine guns on the Batmobile.
Right? Yeah. The machine guns on the Batmobile, which are also pretty freaking awesome. And
Oh yeah,
it's a whole notion of like, again, it's like these weird comic purists that I don't quite fully get, and it's like it's
they're not even comic purists though, Matt, because you know what, they pick and choose what they like. If you want to be a comic purist, then you got to admit that Batman was packing at one point. Like Batman carried a gun, dude. Like so. I mean, this isn't even. That's the problem that I have with this. Like people want to call me a hypocrite. It is so hypocritical to sit there and just go. And I'm not saying about the guy who said this but whatever. But I'm talking about people in general. People who say stuff like that. Well, Batman never kills. Well, what about like all these times Batman's killed? Well, Batman didn't really kill that guy. He shoved a bomb down a guy's pants in Batman Returns, pushed him in a hole. He blew up, and then Batman literally turns around. Michael Keaton turns around and goes, smiles,
the smile.
Smiles. Okay, like he takes the one black guy at the top of the bell tower, slams his head into the bell, and then throws him down the shaft. That guy ain't getting up in the morning.
No,
I
always get a kick out of those arguments because people, it's like no one got upset when Tony Stark took out those terrorists in the first Iron Man movie. You know what I mean? Like no one cared. It's such a weird argument to make. It's such an odd thing. Now, hold on real quick here. We have a friend who will be joining us here in a second, which we will bring him in. And now hold on here. So just Drake here says, the super chats you read didn't show up on the screen. Well, that was because I had saved them on the side and then StreamYard refreshed the chat and I lost them. So I still have a couple more to get to, and then we'll be caught up. But in the meantime, RJ, hold on a second, man. But thank you for jumping on in. I'm like, I'm not going to do a 4-hour stream tonight, and then we're already coming up on 2 hours. But it's a fun conversation, so I'm having a good time. Okay, so we got to Rodney P had to ask you what are your thoughts on Superman and Lois? So you already answered that. McLeod here, $10. Thank you, man. Says one day you're going to have to make a choice whether to stand proud in front of the human race or not. That's what he says. What is that? What's that one from again? Is that from Man of Steel? Right. Kevin Costner. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's a great line. I still think Kevin Costner has like the best portrayal of Jonathan Kent. And I loved Diane Lane as Ma Kent. So like you could see her like if like, let's say for example, like the nightmare scene, I would love it if Diane Lane like survived and she was like teaming up with Batman to take out Clark. It'd be tough, but you know she would do it because it'd be the right thing.
Well, there's talk. I actually this was one of the things actually too that I was going to bring up in a stream, and so I'm glad that we're having this conversation now because it's giving me some prep for my stream. You've seen that photo, right?
No, I don't know what that is.
So that's from the exhibit that was down in was it Dallas?
Yeah, it was Dallas.
Yeah.
So it was this outfit, and it's pretty much figured out that it's a woman, right? But we don't know who it is. And somebody brought up the other day, and I saw this, that what if it's Martha? Because Lois is dead. So who else would Bruce be able to get? Wouldn't it make that Martha scene even that much better? If Bruce is trying to talk Clark down by bringing him Martha.
Why did you say that name?
I'm just saying.
Well,
I don't know for sure that that's where Zach was going with that, but we don't know because somebody tagged me in this and said, "Will somebody please ask Zach who this was supposed to be?" Because Zach hasn't even said who this was.
Yeah,
supposed to be.
I know some people out there might argue Carrie Kelly. I think Carrie, because people also thought that Jenna Malone, when we found out she was having a cameo in the BVS Ultimate, that she was going to be Carrie Kelly and not just a star scientist. So that people were like a little on that one. But I mean, Carrie Kelly seems like kind of what they would go for. Maybe. However, I do think that having Martha survive and having her be like the person to talk him down would be, because that would connect him to his humanity, which is kind of the whole point. And that would be very fascinating to see. Now Dark Beast here says the Martha scene will never be good. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
It already is. I
love the Martha scene. I've loved it even since the theatrical.
What do you guys think though about it becoming a joke though?
I think people need to shut the hell up.
Like a cultural joke. And
I agree.
Even
with you.
DC makes fun of it. I don't know if you noticed. Even DC likes to make fun of that line.
Well, I think people I think it's like this. I think people out there like it. It caught a lot of people by surprise. And I think a lot more people have come around to like it than not like it. But look, it's like you've seen all the memes going around this weekend about like Dominic Toretto popping up in all these different movies.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a couple.
Like, in Snyder Cut when it's all like, Aquaman and Cyborg are like, Dom, no, it's suicide. And then it cuts to like Steppenwolf. It's like Steppenwolf might be strong, but not as strong as family. It's like
they did that with Jurassic Park where he faced down the T-Rex.
Yeah, I've seen it with Jurassic Park. I've seen it with The Matrix. I've seen it with what was the other one? Anakin, Revenge of the Sith. Right? Like, hey, Anakin, I heard you could use some help. Hey, Dom, how did you get a car in space? Logic doesn't work. You don't need logic when you have family. It's just so stupid. But the idea, though, is that you can meme these things. You can meme them and not take away necessarily from like what they are. Because you can joke all you want about family in the Fast and Furious movies, but that is the shit that holds that franchise together.
Yeah,
that is the
they're
literal
genuine
glue.
about it. That's like
they're very genuine.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, the Justice for Han whole thing, that was not something that was like a stupidly put together hashtag. That was fans who were like legitimately like, we want Han to come back, and they listened and they brought him back. I still need to go see the movie, so I don't know what happens. But it's like the family notion of that has been around since the very first movie, and they've kept it going. So, and then, I mean, also the death of Paul Walker, I think, was a big factor in that. But yeah, it's like these movies have a lot of those kind of things in common. And so, yeah, you can meme it all you want, but it's not going to take away from a lot of the true fans. And even the true fans will laugh their ass off at it, but it won't take away from like their love of it. Like what was it? Godzilla versus Kong, when it's all like, save Mothra. Why did you say that name? Like, I was like, oh, dude, that's so funny.
It's like I always say, dude, even on like Facebook, man, like we're like with somebody, like it's the passive aggressive thing that like, if you want to like put down somebody's comment or something, whatever, you put the laughing emoji, basically, to joke. Like I always say to people, you can laugh all you want. You can make up whatever joke you want to make up. It doesn't change what is. And the thing is like, yeah, if you just want to dismiss the Martha thing and you just want to act like, oh, well, it just sucked, whatever, because I don't know why, because somebody told you that, or because you just most of the things, what I see is people either go by something somebody told them, or they literally don't pay attention to all the dialogue in the movie. And then when you ask them, well, like, well, what did you think of this in the movie? And they're like, well, I don't remember that being in the movie. Bingo. Maybe you should go back and actually listen to the entire thing and not just dismiss it as, it's like a Step Brothers moment. Oh, your mom's name's Martha, mine is too. Did we just become best friends? Oh, shucks.
But I did laugh at that though. Like even those memes too. Like when the people put those memes out there, I thought that was really funny. Even though I liked the scene.
It was funny. It was funny at a point, but I think now it's like overdone.
Well, I mean, people.
Look, it's funny. I can still laugh at Martha jokes, right?
Yeah.
But like, what bothers me is when people just don't pay attention. Like when Jeremy Griggs, for example, from Geeks and Gamers, showed up over at the Poindexter Lounge, and wanted to debate and and have all that stuff, right? He asked me like what we were talking about different things, and I mentioned the fact that like I'm tired of people even going off on Star Wars. That like, look, you don't have to love everything about Star Wars. We all are going to have our personal opinions about what are our favorite Star Wars movies, what are our least favorite Star Wars movies. But in the end, just love Star Wars, right? Like I my hot take, man. I love The Last Jedi. I don't love The Rise of Skywalker. Like that movie is very convoluted in my thing. But what I will say is, don't complain about the things that do make sense. And I took it to him and I said, because he was so upset about Palpatine being a clone. And he's like, there is no way that I'm going to believe that he is a clone. And if you believe he's a clone, then you are stupid. Well, I said, it's in the movie. He's like, what are you talking about? They never say it in the movie. Yeah, they do, Jeremy. No, they don't. I'm like, yeah, they do. They literally spell it out for you when they're like, Palpatine's back? How? Oh, it's dark magic and Sith, cloning and dark Sith magic or whatever.
Yeah, it's like cloning and dark magic, things only the Sith would know.
Yes,
I believe that's the word.
Flat out say cloning, and then they show the cloning cylinders. It's there to show you what it is, not to fill in all the gaps and spoon feed it to you. And he goes, "Well, I don't remember that." I said, "Well, how many times have you seen the movie?" "Well, I only saw the movie once." Okay.
Yeah, I saw it 3 times.
There's your problem.
The first 2 weeks.
Yeah, like there's your problem.
So,
you may not like something at the end of the day, but watch it a couple of times to make sure that you're really investing yourself and taking it in. And
there's that. Now I have to address one comment because I know, Shifty, I know you're trolling, man. All right, he said he made a comment about Man of Steel, and I can't support this one. I'm sorry, man. I like you, Shifty, but what do you mean that it had a lousy score? What are you talking about? It had a lousy score.
Love a good half of it. Great action scenes, great casting, great crypton stuff, but a lousy score and awful characterization ruined. An awful score.
An awful score. I mean,
he says he's not trolling.
Like how? I mean, I could look. I think the music in Man of Steel, Hans Zimmer did such an amazing job that and Junkie XL and him worked great in BVS, and Junkie XL on his own with Snyder Cut was fantastic.
Well, Shifty, hold on. If you compare to John Williams' theme, okay, that's like comparing. That's like comparing like the top tier of all time score to like something like a modern reinvention.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. I understand. Oh my, when I saw Man of Steel for the first time, I was a little bummed that the Williams score wasn't there. Okay, because I love the Superman 78 score. John Williams is my favorite composer, hands down.
I think it's a perfect theme. It's a great theme,
but it's indicative of the time. It's indicative of the time.
Well, I would push back against that. I think it's a timeless theme song.
No, but it's very indicative of, it is timeless. But what I mean by that is it's indicative of when it was created and which actor playing Superman, you're going to hear that theme song. You know what I mean? It's not like it'd be like if the Raiders March played for anyone else other than Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? That would be a tough sell. That would be a very tough sell, even for me. And I'm a diehard Indiana Jones fan, and it's and I want them to continue something down the road, but it's the Raiders March is just, it's iconic in it's Harrison Ford, right? So hearing the Superman 78 score applied to like Brandon Routh and Superman Returns was something, because they were wanting it to be a continuation of that, like it was a bit more appropriate. But John Ottman, who did the score for Superman Returns as well as edited the damn movie, he took every opportunity he could to sniff his own farts and put that his version of the 78 score in there. You know what I mean? Like, that was one of my bigger complaints with the movie. Because as much as I love the score, they overdid it like crazy in Superman Returns.
Man, I don't know how. Look, I agree. Look, the Superman theme, amazing. John Williams, like you said, John Williams wrote the music for my life and most of our lives. I mean, come on, let's be honest, right?
Every single thing: Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Superman, Star
Wars, Indiana Jones. What he did? Didn't he do Close Encounters?
Yep,
he did Close Encounters. Jaws. Man, my God, like the guy's done
like I think he did Amistad. He did. I'll say this: as much as I did not care for The Last Jedi from a story based perspective, his work on the soundtrack for The Last Jedi is top tier. Is absolutely top tier. You know, like, so I agree. Like, his work is just like phenomenal.
But that's, it's like you can still love that. But here's the thing too, is John Williams has a totally different feel to him, right? And like you said, I agree with you, Matt. Again, like I know it's crazy. Don't want you to start thinking I'm going to do it all the time. No. But seriously, man, like, it's comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing something from a certain E.T. Yes, McLeod put in it. Yes, that John did music for E.T. Yeah, I mean these and look, as a musician myself, as somebody who composes songs, writes songs, and does it. Listen, for him to write so many amazing melodies. And when if you could just sit with a set of headphones and you listen to the complexities and the underlying tones and oh my gosh, on all of these things, and especially the Superman theme, but also his Superman was meant to be bright and cheery. That's why literally he talked about that the song, that the theme literally says Superman in it, right? That it says it's Superman, because it's like da 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 Superman. Like, that was his whole point. If you ever watch his stuff, like, he wanted to say it without it saying, because there's no vocal to it, right? And that's fine. It's very upbeat, right? It's very it's inspiring. It absolutely, I would never take away from John Williams' theme for Superman. But Hans Zimmer, it's very grounded. It's very real. It's gritty. It's it fits the tone of that movie perfectly.
But I also think it's uplifting too, though.
It's inspiring, dude. One Sunday morning, I came into church, and my old sound guy was a huge Superman fan as well, and he knew that I was walking into the building, and he was cranking the Hans Zimmer Superman theme, Man of Steel theme, over the sound system in the church. And like, he was doing it for me walking on the platform for the first time, coming in from the back. And he was just, and like, it's inspiring, but it's in a totally different way. But it's not just in a sing-songy kind of like, fun way. It's a serious piece of music for a serious movie.
Well, I think
here's another one iconic one, Home Alone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did
Home Alone. The theme for Home Alone. I mean, I'm looking through his.
I'm looking here. Who was it? Oh, that's it. I missed it because my chat just jumped. But you got to bring this up. Music Man. I don't know what Music Man means by his comment back here, where he's talking about the score. Where he's like, BS. It had an awful score. Hans Zimmer put his dick in the of that movie, and the score the S till it scored it everywhere.
Jesus.
Wow.
I can see
Wow.
it. I can see it, but there's super chats to get to, and I don't want to lose my
know,
space.
I know.
I'll try
That's not fair.
That's like what you want to see in your newspaper, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna see what movies are playing, and like, Music Man says BS. It had an awful score.
That is a very interesting. That's a very Jarbonian take, by the way. A very much something I would say.
And it's got so much, and it's all in caps, and it's like saying so much there that I want to make sure I'm reading it right. It sounds like it sounds like he's saying that it's BS, that it's an awful score, that it's a great score because Hans did it to it, man.
Yeah, he definitely wrote it hard and put it away wet. I think is a good way.
And you know what? And I'm sure Music Man, before he got down to that he was a hero along the lines of Batman and did the prep work.
Yeah, he preheated the oven.
Preheated. I love it. Love it. I don't know why that's become my thing in the last 2 weeks. I'm just like adamant about that.
There's been a lot of you know what though, because it's like I think it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. But real quick here, I do want to get through a bunch.
Yes.
All right. Todd Fayer did say here the main reason BVS was not good was because Lex Luthor was horrible in the movie, almost to the point of embarrassing, in my opinion. I personally disagree. I liked Jesse Eisenberg in the role because I thought that he brought this because they were growing him into being the Lex that we know.
Yep.
But and it was giving a bit of a different take. Because I remember Zach had said something like they wanted Lex to be more of like a hacker type, more of a modern take instead of just being like a business tycoon type of guy.
I think conceptually I'm on board with that. I don't know. I think it just comes down to the performance. If you got a different actor other than Jesse Eisenberg, I probably would have liked it. That's my opinion.
I got 3 words for you. Read the comics.
Oh, I know. Superman Birthright. I know. I've read
not even that, but like even like where they pick from him, like he modernized it, but like the entire run of Lex Luthor from the time that Lex Luthor dies in the comics in the early 90s that he died. From radiation poisoning. He got cancer because he was paranoid of Superman, and so he wore a kryptonite ring at all times, and so it gave him cancer of the hand. And I love how they brought that back up in Smallville. If you watch Smallville, where he's wearing the black glove, that's a direct callback to the comics of the late 80s, early 90s, because Lex Luthor wore a black glove because his hand was withering away with cancer. And he couldn't fight it, and he ended up dying. But it turned out later that he put his brain into a clone body of himself, of a young, strapping Australian guy who was the epitome of late 80s, early 90s, like billionaire, playboy, rich kind of guy, long flowing red hair. He actually had a beard and everything, and was dating Supergirl, who wasn't Kara. It looked like Kara, but it was actually a character named Matrix. It was a shapeshifter, but was doing the shape of Supergirl at the time. And so like he came on the scene. Everybody thought that he was the son of Lex Luthor, which is something that caught my eye when I watched BVS, because I actually have a video on my channel from way back when saying, is it possible that this Lex Luthor that we're seeing is actually a clone? Because he talks about his dad a whole lot in a lot of weird ways. And it's just like, oh yeah, I left this room the way it is just in case good old dad decides to come back or whatever. Do you think dad would mind if I did this or whatever? Like, there was a lot of little things there that I was like, that's really interesting, because it ended up being revealed that he was Lex, and he went back to kind of being the classic Lex again. But if you skip now into when BVS came out, the epitome of the young, rich guy is the type of person that Zach portrayed.
Basically, think Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
but like
it's exact same thing,
like less autistic. But the thing is, anyway. But thank you for that, Todd. I wasn't trying to ignore your super chats. I did see your comment there. It's just we get talking. I don't want to cut up the conversation.
I wish StreamYard didn't do that.
I really wish there was a separate little thing for it, because I don't want anyone to feel like they're being left out, and I do apologize. But I'm trying to get to everybody here. And I did see Ryan's as well. Ryan did have one asking who would win in a fight, Superman or Omni-Man. I mean, like
that's interesting.
Superman.
I'm gonna go with Omni-Man because he would use everything against Superman. You know what I mean? Like he would use.
There's no sense of morality. He would do any kind of dirty trick possible.
Look at the subway scene. The subway scene.
Yeah, but Superman. The subway scene is great. But here's the thing, though. Try that with Superman. Here's the thing: Superman would fight him, would try everything that he could, and then Superman would take him down because that's the whole point. Superman does kill. Like Superman will use lethal force if it's necessary. Look what he did with Doomsday. He realized that he was on the edge of dying himself. If you read the comics, people are like, Superman would never kill. He always finds a different way. Well, then why did he kill? Why did he do everything that he could to kill Doomsday? Why? He literally, in the comics, he's got thought bubbles that are like, he's like on the edge of dying himself, and he realizes that nobody else is going to be able to take Doomsday down if he doesn't finish it. If he doesn't draw the line at Metropolis, finish it, and try to take him out. Superman get the job done. You know, he like
so what you're saying is
earlier,
Superman's a real hero.
Yes, like you said earlier, even with that Darkseid scene from the animated series, right?
Yeah.
Superman will pull his punches as much as he can because he's trying to gauge what he has to do, right? But if you look at literally the powers that Superman has, yeah, like I get it. I like Invincible too, but no.
I'm just waiting to see what Omni-Man does next season, but we'll keep it going later on in that one. Anyway, now Todd here, another $5 bringing up Jared Leto. Says Jared Leto is a great actor, but his Joker performance in Suicide Squad and BVS was awful, very embarrassing.
I would say this: we didn't even really see his performance in Suicide Squad. I'll say this: I didn't like Jared Leto's Joker until the Snyder Cut. That one scene sold me on his version. So if there's better stuff in that Suicide Squad stuff that got cut, I'd like to see it. But
I'm hoping they give it to us. Yeah, I'm hoping they give it to us. I will say this: from 2015, when they put up that first image of him as the Joker, that everyone lost their mind over, and everyone was attacking it. I was one of the lone defenders of it. And when I saw Suicide Squad, I was very excited to see Joker. And I walked out of that because I mean Heath Ledger blew my mind as Joker in 2008. So, you know, following that up 8 years later is going to be a bit of a tough one, especially coming off of like the Arkham trilogy had come out at that time. So kind of reigniting Mark Hamill voicing Joker, right? Bringing that back up into like pop culture, you know, or like the upper echelons of it, or at least in whatever current. And so when I saw him in the movie, I really liked him, and I've always liked him in the role. I thought it was such a weird take. But the thing is, I also look at it like, I view that Joker as being kind of like Robin in the Return of the Joker from Batman Beyond. Like I've always kind of interpreted that as being like that, you know, that he was Dick Grayson, you know, like that's the whole thing. Like that's what got turned. Obviously that's not what happened, but I just kind of like that take on it. It's such a weird, over the top.
Yeah.
Punk rock kind of take.
I will say this. I
never liked the tattoos.
Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you straight up. When I first saw that picture, yeah, you know what? I did a cringe kind of thing too because I thought that he looked a lot like Batboy from back in the day on the, you know, the Weekly World News, you know, things. And so like I at first I did that, but then once there it is. Dear God, that's got to be the greatest comment ever. But so here's the thing. I thought it looked weird too. When I saw his performance, I thought it was really interesting because I heard more people saying, well, why didn't we get to see more of him? People wanted to know what his motivation was. Like, and you know, people can complain about it because they didn't get to see more. And I get that, but whose fault is that? Oh yeah. Warner Brothers. Good job, Warner Brothers. But here's the thing. I get it. People are like, oh, I don't like tattoos. RJ, I love you. I appreciate you. And I respect you. 3 words. Read the comics.
I know. All-Star Batman and Robin. I know.
I'm just saying, like, here's my take on stuff. Even the stuff that I complain about and I don't like, if I'm I did this to myself with your favorite upcoming movie, RJ.
Which one?
The Batman. You know, and you're made by your good friend.
Matt my very good friend. Matt
yes,
Reeves,
your best friend, Bat Reeves, right? Or sorry, Matt Reeves, right? Yeah,
well, we can call him Bat Reeves.
Bat Reeves, whatever. I mean, like you're probably calling in from his house right now, right? You go over there on
I
weekends.
am actually. He shows me the dailies from some of the set days.
So look. When I first saw that Batmobile, I was like, "What in the world is this?" Because I don't like the cowl on the Pattinson thing. I'm really hoping that that's like a prototype or like a flashback to like him first doing it, because I just don't like the look of it. But I digress. When I first saw the car, I'm like, well, it's a cool looking car, but that's not the Batmobile. Like, why would Batman be driving around a car with like a regular windshield and stuff that could get like shot out or busted out, even if it's like bulletproof glass, like it's still not going to hold up in the bigger scheme of things. And I was like starting to go down that route where I was like starting to be like a lot of people are and just complain about something. And then you know what? Oh, I remembered something. I picked up a couple of old comic books. I went back through one of my long boxes, my Batman stuff, and I was reading the series like right around the time that Jason Todd was introduced. Mm-hmm. And I read that comic, the comic that Jason Todd has introduced. Batman goes back to Crime Alley and he patrols once a year, right? He patrols that place like once a year. And while he's out patrolling, he comes back to the Batmobile, and Jason Todd has stolen the tires off the Batmobile. And
that's right.
And Batman says one of the best lines ever by Batman, and I think he's like something to the effect of like, "My God, the stones on somebody that they'd have to steal the wheels off the Batmobile." But you know what? You know what that Batmobile is? It's just a Lamborghini. It's literally just a black Lamborghini. There's no insignia on it. There's no bat-centric stuff on it. And then in that same token, right around that same time, he's just got like what looks like a 78 black Stingray Corvette. Like it no fins, no bat-looking nothing. I think it's got a Batman license plate, like a symbol license plate on it for some reason, because it shows you driving away.
I googled it just now. That's what it looks like.
It's plain. It's black. It's just a regular thing. And you know what I had to realize? I'm wrong. Batman can absolutely have a nondescript, just regular Batmobile car. We've gotten used to it having to either be this really cool futuristic winged thing that can crawl up buildings and have like what looks like a power generator in it or something. And look, I love the 89 Batman car. I think it's awesome. And I love the Batman v Superman one, but it looks like a tank, right? And then you got the Tumbler, which like literally is a tank.
I've seen the Tumbler in person, actually.
Oh, I've seen them all in person. At the same time at Warner Brothers Studio.
I saw them too.
Well, I saw it. I'm like at E3 in 2005 before the movie even came out. I didn't know what it was yet.
Well, Well, Patrick
Yeah.
Tatopoulos said that if I make it out to LA, he wants to take me to the studio and he wants me to drive the BVS one. So there.
So Enosh, thanks for coming by. Really appreciating.
He designed the freaking thing.
I was just gonna say the only tattoo I don't like I get the tattoos. The only one I don't like,
but
it turned me off is the damaged one. I don't like the damaged tattoo on the forehead. I think that goes a step too far. That's the only one I don't like.
Though that's the see. Look, did you read Three Jokers?
The newest one that came out a couple years ago?
Yeah.
No, I did not read Three Jokers.
Okay, dude. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. That if you are basing this opinion if you're talking about the Joker, what's the first thing, RJ? And I don't think this is asking too much, because I asked this of myself, like I just explained to you, right? Like I was upset at the Matt Reeves thing until I saw that, and I was like, dang, I'm the one who's wrong. It's not Matt Reeves who's wrong for giving us that kind of Batmobile. It's me who's wrong, because I'm griping and complaining about my preconceived notion, because this is what we've been fed for so long, right? When it comes to stuff like that with the Joker, man, what's the first thing you should do then? If you have a complaint about, well, what's the typical thing with the Joker? Like, read some Joker comics, right? The Three Jokers by Jeff Johns.
It's actually good, though.
It's actually really, really good. It's really good.
Even last year, Enosh was saying the Three Jokers is really good.
Yeah.
So he was out there, even during the Ray Fisher thing when it first started, he's out there like, no, the comic's really good, you guys.
Yeah, I am. Look, I'll say what it is, man, and it definitely is. And so the thing is that you start realizing with the Joker, man, he's got many different personalities, and literally putting damaged across his forehead is literally like the stereotypical thing that the Joker would do, because the Joker is just literally he's out of his mind. At the same time, he's cold and calculating, and he knows what he's doing, but yet he wants to rub it in everybody's face, man. And the thing is, I actually think that one of the hardest things that have happened to the Joker was that as great as Heath Ledger's performance was, like as that character, his performance really isn't comic book accurate, like on the Joker. Like his is a new take, which is fine because I love it. Okay. And you'll never hear me put him down because I love that take. But I think that what that take did was like it established for a lot of people what they think the Joker is. And so they don't read the Joker in the comics. They forget the craziness, the zaniness of the Joker, and they forget the flat out like the Joker's the type of guy, he will tell you the joke. And he'll tell you the punchline, and if you don't laugh the way he thinks you should laugh, he'll keep telling you the punchline over and over again, like putting it in your face. And that's what I feel like when he wrote, to put damaged across his forehead. I feel like that's what that does. You know what I mean? It does that. Plus, I'll be honest with you, I'm not so convinced that like all of those tattoos were even real, or that he kept them.
Yeah, because we didn't really see them in the nightmare scene. And
no, they got rid of all the tattoos apparently.
Yeah, so it's like that, and I wouldn't put it past him to also like just have those be temporary. You know what I mean? Like, because everyone would think, oh, he's all tatted up, but then he's like, yeah.
Actually, the one thing I will defend from that design though is the grill, the mouth stuff. So like the idea is that Batman probably beat him so badly up that he had to get those.
Well, that's what the damage tattoo is meant to represent.
Is it? Or is it meant to being damaged mentally?
Yeah. No. That was the damage tattoo was meant to represent like the whole death of Robin, Batman beating the ever loving hell out of Joker and like almost killing him. Like that's what the damage tattoo is meant to indicate.
Oh,
but again, it's like
that's on me.
And that's become a source of contention between him and Batman, as referenced in the nightmare scene.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, there's a lot that like, I mean. I
liked him in the nightmare scene. That was my favorite bit of Joker in the.
I just love those movies. I have my issues with where things are right now, but it's like I still love those goddamn films. They're just so well done, and like we need more of them. And I hope that it happens. But anyway, real quick here, I want to get to McLeod here. He says, $5, thank you. John did the music for E.T. Absolutely, he did so much stuff. I mean, look at his IMDb, and you will see like he has done so many things. Like he did Solo, even he contributed to that. War of the Worlds, Memoirs of a Geisha, Munich had a good score, Adventures of Tintin had a really good score. Warhorse,
great score.
That movie made me cry like 3 times. That movie made me cry.
It's a great movie. Sadly, it's fallen under the radar.
So it was one of those kind of like, it's like an unsung Spielberg film, kind of like Munich, because it came out the same year as War of the Worlds, right? So War of the Worlds was summer 2005. Munich was December 2005. And Munich was a much better movie than War of the Worlds. But Williams did a great job with both. And then I just want to get through, I don't want to miss out anyone's chats here. Okay.
Next one's from McLeod, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I really appreciate everyone here. Thank you. All right, McLeod here, another $10. Thank you, man. Says, I love Superman's suit that he wore with his cameo in Shazam. It maintained the BVS aesthetic with the red added around the waist, but the color of the suit is still dark, but not bland or saturated. I think that was the same suit because it was his stunt double that was there. That's who did the cameo.
Yeah, which is a shame that didn't work out. I understand kind of why it didn't.
Did you ever see David F. Sandberg making fun of that?
No, I don't think I did. No.
Oh, okay. Hold on here. Because David F. Sandberg, he trolls, right?
Oh yeah.
He troll. I love that guy. I love him on Twitter. He's like one of the most accessible directors I've ever had the pleasure of talking to. Let's see, Shazam. Hold on, Superman.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny to me too though that some people say, "Oh, Shazam isn't part of the DC." I'm like, if David F. Sandberg could have, he would have made that even more so connected. I think.
Yeah. Oh no, he totally. Here, I got it. I just got to bring it up. No, he totally trolled everyone. This is right after 9 days after the Snyder Cut was announced. Right, 9 days after that it was confirmed. This is what he put on Oh, hold on, I just want to make it large. All right, so this is him trolling everybody on Twitter.
Meeting for the first time would seem very cool.
Is there sound?
Yeah, there's sound.
That's okay.
You guys never seen that before?
No, that's the first time I've seen
Hey,
that.
can you go back? Can you pause it for a second? Because he said something about red around the waist, but isn't that just the tray?
Maybe. Hold on.
It's been a while since I've seen this scene.
I do love Shazam though. I think that's
I love Shazam too.
Yeah.
Is there?
There we go.
Yeah, a
Hold
little
on.
bit on the side.
I guess, yeah, maybe there's some red there. Yeah.
Let me hold on. I'll bring it up full screen. I see a little bit of red around the waist.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to tell what that is.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I do see the little red right there. Is that? Let's see. Hold on.
I literally had somebody yesterday yelling at me, telling me that they hate this suit because they think it looks like Superman has shielding because of the lines on it. You know, the lines that go up over his hips and stuff like that, and the gauntlets that he has. And I'm like, are you serious? It doesn't look like it'd be the worst
That's
shielding.
nitpicking, just to nitpick.
It'd be the worst shielding ever made for a suit if that was it. It's literally just a design aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm looking at other Cavill suits right now, and I'm not seeing that red or that same design. So it's possible that this is just a prototype design that they had. But I do know that is Henry Cavill's stunt double.
Yeah, the red is brighter.
Yeah. I mean,
the red is brighter.
So I just, but who knows? I mean, it could be something I mean, I've never caught that before. So thank you very much for that one, McLeod. I love that little gag, by the way. That gag is so freaking funny.
That is funny.
And then also William Powell here. Hey, what's up, William? He says, what's this, late night nerds? Yeah, we've just been, it's been an ongoing thing for a while now. And then, all right, we got
me.
By the way, Enosh, someone in the chat brought it up. Who do you think would win a fight, Superman or Goku?
Okay, it's not me that's crapping out. Is it me that's crapping out?
I don't know.
I see Enosh. I can see like it looks a little bit different on his end. But if you can hear me, then I'm not crapping out.
I couldn't tell who that was. I guess it was. It was me.
StreamYard. Yeah. Again, it's all right. Another $5 from McLeod. Thank you, sir. Says what I liked about the suit in particular is that the dark blue and red and yellow colors actually pop out and are not saturated. Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, they do pop on the. I mean, the yellow is a little bit on the muted side, but it's not bad. Like I like the suit. I've always liked the suit. And then also, let's see. Rational Skeptic asks, "Hey Enosh, do you think Cavill is still Superman?"
Yeah.
Oops, wait, that's not the one I wanted.
Not in that picture right there, but yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Right. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're all caught up on that one.
I think Enosh's camera or something's lagging. It's really weird. At least on my end.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's because like I was talking to you and I said something and then like it's just like complete crapped out and I don't think anyone heard me. It was weird.
It's yeah, you never know with StreamYard. Metaverse here asks, I really want Enosh's take on the Superman versus Goku debate. I'm sick of weebs saying Goku wins.
Oh, yeah.
Does Enosh know who Goku is though?
I absolutely know who Goku is. Get out of here, Resident Justice. Get out of here.
Just saying because you don't know.
Listen, when I say I'm not a big anime fan, it's not because I don't know anything about anime. It's because I'm just not a fan of the genre as a whole. Like I'm very well aware of who Goku is, if not for the very fact that I keep getting Goku fanboys like up my butt trying to be, oh yeah, well Goku would win in a fight. No, he wouldn't. Look, check out there. You want a really quick answer? Do a Google search, or not a Google search, a YouTube search for Goku versus Superman. The homework's already been done. I again, read a comic. People act like, well, Superman is just this. People don't even understand the reality of Superman's powers, right? Like, what was it? Superman 1 million. Was that the name of it? Like his powers are so far beyond what people even think. Like, and there's a great video here on YouTube where like they establish like what Superman's powers are versus Goku's, and Goku's is like so minimal versus Superman's ultimate power that he has exhibited in the comics.
What about the Hulk?
It's not even the Hulk is the same thing. Hulk, he would take down the Hulk too. You
Well,
take down the Hulk easy.
The other reason some people debate that is because they say the angrier that Hulk gets, the stronger he gets.
He can die.
It's like
Can he
unlimited
die?
anger.
Can he die?
Yes.
If the Hulk, listen, the only thing that keeps the only, yes, I do, Metaverse. I feel your pain for sure. The only thing that keeps the Hulk from losing that fight is Superman wouldn't want to kill the Hulk because the Hulk is a hero. If the Hulk started threatening lives and just would not go, why does he kill Zod in Man of Steel? Because Zod is not going to stop. Zod yells at him and screams at him and says, I will not stop. I will kill every last person. And Superman knows that he'll do it. Superman absolutely knows that he'll do it. And so he takes the threat seriously. And then when he's trying to kill the people and stuff, he's relentless. There ain't no taking Zod to another place away from the city because the whole battle was there in the city. The world engine was there in the city, terraforming the world there. Zod would have never left. Zod would have never followed Superman to another location to have this fight where there's no pedestrians. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's like people want this, like, like, we'll might as well just have a stadium where Superman can do all his fighting so to make sure no one gets hurt, like, it's
What,
it's,
so like
it's dumb.
Pokemon Stadium, but for Superman?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
That'd actually be awesome. They did like Planet Hulk, but it's like a Superman story where he's like trapped on this planet to like compete in a gladiatorial arena.
Dude, they've done stories like that already with Superman.
Oh, they have?
Where Superman's found himself on different planets, just like before the Hulk did all that stuff. There's a great series called Time and Time Again where Superman finds himself trapped through time and he's trying to get back to back home, and like he grows out a beard and like he's trapped on this planet where like he's fighting in gladiatorial fights and stuff like that. I mean, dude. That's all there, man. Superman is a very rich character, dude. And what you're going to find is a lot of other characters borrow a lot from Superman, even the ones that have established things that like they're known for these certain things. Superman's the first and the best.
But I'm going to put up a contender, who could potentially beat Superman. And my money, I'm just saying, this is just my take, but I think Dominic Toretto would have a good shot but Dominic's got heart.
Because he'd kill him with his acting.
Dominic's got love. I mean, look at this one here, right? Save Martha. Why'd you say that name? That's his mother's name. She's family. or here's another one. He with you? I thought he was with you. I'm with my family.
Just the car, just in the middle of the air going towards Doomsday.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. That's great.
Those are like so funny. I just love
But see, but I mean, like, okay, so this brings up an interesting point though, because why is it that Doomsday was able to kill Superman? I mean, technically he didn't kill him. He put him in such a state of shock that had they kept him buried in the comics, Superman would have died. But the fact that the Eradicator came and pulled Superman out of the grave, the tomb that they had established for him in Metropolis, and put him into the regeneration chamber, the solar regeneration chamber back at the Fortress of Solitude, that saved his life, right? But like even that, Doomsday was a character, like if you read the character of Doomsday, they established that Doomsday was created by Kryptonian scientists as to be the ultimate weapon. Right. So what they did was they literally started off with a baby. They would expose this baby to horrible like extremes. Like they put it out in the cold. Right. And they would kill it. They'd kill this child. And then they would come back in, take the DNA, clone it, make a new one. And the thing is, they would do this with several different things until the point was that Doomsday could never be killed the same way twice. You could kill the creature, but he would come back because he could be regenerated, and you couldn't kill him that way again. So that's why in the 3-book series Doomsday Hunter Prey, Superman uses Mother Box technology, okay, takes Doomsday, takes him to the very end of time, to entropy. takes him to like a nanosecond before all of time and existence collapses and leaves him there. Because you really couldn't kill him. They couldn't kill each other, right? And so, you know, that's why Doomsday is who he is because Doomsday was created genetically to just be a killing machine. And Superman had to give everything he had to that because he was literally fighting a being who had already been killed in every way imaginable. And you can't kill him the same way twice. So, you know.
Well, so that's a good point. I just want to get to McLeod here.
So even if you drive your car at him, good luck, Dom, because you won't be able to do it a second time in the sequel.
Yeah, I'm still awake. I don't know why you're spamming it in the chat. I'm still here. You know, I'm just saying. Now, McLeod here brings up. We talked about this a little bit ago with the Superman versus Darkseid fight, but I did find it because I think it's actually a great scene just in general. We'll check it out because you know I think it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give us an idea here of like just how OP.
You're trying to get a copyright strike tonight, aren't you? You're showing Superman 2. You're showing.
Yeah, well, because honestly, I mean, I make more money. The money I make off donations is far greater than like the literal pennies I would make off the AdSense.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm fine with that. Like I like
give the
watching
people what they want.
Yeah, well, here, let's check out this at least get to the speech part. I don't know quite where it's at, but we'll find it.
You still try to fight. Can't you see that it's hopeless?
That man won't quit as long as he can still draw a breath. None of my teammates will. Me? I've got a different problem. I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard, always taking constant care not to break something, to break someone. Never allowing myself to lose control, even for a moment, or someone could die. But you can take it, can't you, big man? What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am.
Oh wait, is that collateral damage?
Yes.
Is
yes,
that
is.
wait, hold on.
Yes,
Is that super? People love this scene, but is that Superman not taking Doomsday or excuse me, Darkseid out of the city? And like, I'm sure somebody was in those buildings.
Yeah.
Just saying, somebody was in those office buildings. Somebody could have died.
I'm pretty sure somebody did.
Me
But let's
too.
finish it.
But it's awesome.
It's so freaking good.
Heck yeah.
Had enough.
Not quite yet. It's called the agony matrix. Direct neural stimulation of pain receptors. All of them. Imagine the worst pain you've ever felt in your life, times 1,000. Now imagine that pain continuing forever. Oh, that's right. You don't have to imagine.
Damn.
Yeah, I love that. Also, the fight in Superman the Animated Series, I think it was on Apocalypse. That's also amazing.
We can see the end to that fight right here. Oh, see? Superman wins. Yeah, baby. Superman wins.
I'm just saying, it's like I think that's a great scene in general, and I would love to see Cavill deliver that line to Ray Porter.
Oh my God,
that would just be like that would be great. You know, again, one of those things where it's like what we'd love to see one day. I mean, look, you think about the character Superman, and there's a lot of ways to describe him, a lot of ways to make it work.
Yeah.
But I do feel it does need to be in very kind of adept hands to do it.
Can we please get Man of Steel 2?
Well, yeah, we all want that.
Like, please.
We all want that. That's been
All I've ever wanted
long
was
that's
Man
been
of Steel
long
2,
litigated.
Machado, and freaking Brainiac. That's all I've ever wanted.
It's been long litigated amongst all of us here in this little circle. We all want it. I think the thing is though, is like when it comes to the character himself, like I just want the character to be like well treated. And I think the Justice League Unlimited stuff was good. Man of Steel stuff was good. I just Superman Lois is apparently pretty good, but I feel like some people out there just want him to be the same old character.
Yep.
You know,
Just join the classic Facebook groups that Enoch keeps talking about.
Hey, look, Dawson left him, dude. I invited a bunch of people to be in those groups with me, and they've all left because of the attitude of people in those groups. I stick on because I feel like somebody's got to fight for the truth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that people can't embrace other versions or other things about the character. The character is not one dimensional. That's the problem that people have. And that's the thing that people are talking about when they say things like, I don't like the character of Superman. He's boring. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't go anywhere. You know, he's just too good. He's too overpowered, whatever.
They don't read comics.
They don't read comics, and they haven't paid attention to actually Superman in media at all. Look at Superman the animated series, for example. Okay, you can catch Superman off guard. Superman is susceptible to magic. Like everybody's saying, oh, he's only got the weakness of kryptonite. Not true. Superman is susceptible to magic. Magic is another one of his. So Superman versus, I mean, we're going. You know, you brought up the Hulk, but say Superman versus Doctor Strange would be very interesting. Because Superman is susceptible to magic. Now, he usually, you know, what I love, I think Matt, you said it before I came in. You talked about like Superman, or somebody mentioned it, that Superman is best when he's written as like he doesn't overcome everything with his brute strength.
Yeah, that was someone else in the chat had said that. It was Thomas Carroll, I think, is who said it, because like, someone named Fleischer is who he was referencing. It's at the very beginning, like literally it's the first comments on the stream.
Okay.
Like, so he was talking about that. Yeah, it's like you want Superman to be able to use his brains. And he's got bronze. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Dark Knight Returns, that speech where Batman is over Superman having beaten him and like reminds him that, you know, it doesn't matter how old you get. I will always have beaten you, you know, like, because I know people want Superman. Like, I just like that because I kind of like to see the vulnerable side of him, like having to learn from that, you know? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I'm really tired, but did I crap out again?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
No,
Sorry.
I was paying attention to the chat. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. Benson
too,
here says, sad as it is, Man of Steel didn't perform. No, Man of Steel did perform.
Yes, it did.
Look, Benson, you and I agree about where things are with Warner Brothers and continuing things. You and I definitely agree on that front. But Man of Steel is the highest grossing Superman solo movie of all time. It did over $700 million in the box office. And even before the movie came out, they did like $161 million in like advertising cross promotion. And then the movie did very well on home video.
It was definitely profitable.
It was like I did a Podio commentary on it before Snyder Cut came out. And so it's like, no, Man of Steel made money. What didn't make as much as they wanted it to was BVS. And that was all because of Warner's interference.
Yep.
So it's like, no, Man of Steel did well.
Yeah, cut out 30 minutes of the story, and then it does make $1 billion. I wonder why.
Go figure.
Well, that was BVS, yeah.
But yeah, but isn't it amazing? You put that 30 minutes back in, and the Blu-ray sales topped the Blu-ray sales for 5 weeks.
Yep. Five. Well, it was Blu-ray and DVD for 5 weeks.
5 weeks. Number one. 5 weeks
in a row.
Yep. Guess what was number 2?
Weeks.
Guess what was number 2 for 4 of those weeks? The Killing Joke. Not kidding. It was BVS and The Killing Joke were number 1 and number 2 on home video sales for a month in the summer of 2016.
So look, people can have their opinions about the movie all they want, and they can like throw these little snide things in there. But anytime I hear somebody talk about negatively about BVS or Man of Steel or any of those things, and they just and Mark knows I love him. But here's the thing: it's based around assumptions. It's not based around the hard fact. Yes, there's a very vocal group of people who are like, I don't like BVS and I never will. Good for you. There's a lot of people who like BVS, and BVS has aged very well. And people are coming around to BVS all the time, especially in the world that we live in right now of deconstructed heroes via we've already talked about Invincible tonight. We
The
talked about
Boys.
And the boys, yeah.
right? Which, by the way, this weekend
Jupiter's Legacy.
I picked up action figures for Starlight and Homelander. Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah. Actually, funny story. I was going through my comic collection, and I had the first issue signed by Garth Ennis. So I wonder how much that's worth, because I forgot I had that. My dad.
But that's it's like, especially in this world now where heroes are being explored in these ways, people are warming up to BVS all the time. It was stupid of Warner Brothers to think, oh, the first and second movie of our new thing, of our new world that we're trying to build, has to make $1 billion a piece. I don't care if it is Superman and Batman. It's literally the first and second incarnations of characters that had pretty much been dead. I mean, Batman, we had the Dark Knight trilogy, but we were coming off of that. And then with Superman, there had not been a successful Superman. People can say whatever they want to about Superman Returns. That movie wasn't successful. So, right. I don't know. I don't know what to tell people anymore. But anytime I hear somebody say those kind of things about Man of Steel or BVS or whatever, it just shows me you're
I do agree with
Well, here's the thing.
You're listening to a group of people who that's their narrative.
Well, Man of Steel did 668 million worldwide. I was wrong. I thought it was over 700.
Much was the budget?
The budget of Man of Steel, let me see. The budget of Man of Steel was, I want to say like 150 or somewhere in that neighborhood. No, sorry, I was way off. According to Box Office Mojo, it was budgeted at $225 million. But the amount of money that they made from all like the pre-sale stuff and all the co-advertising, I mean, the movie made money. Maybe not like as much as I thought it was, but then again, look, Superman Returns only did $391.1 million worldwide on a $204 million budget.
Yeah,
so Superman Returns definitely did not do what they wanted. And I think part of that was the length, coming in at 2 hours and 49 minutes.
It was that long?
That's how long Superman Returns was.
Wow,
Man of Steel
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, like Superman Returns was not that long. It was 2 hours and 28 minutes, which is a good number.
I will say, though, I kind of agree with Benson on his comment that you need to make movies that appeal to masses, not just nerds, business first. That is the mentality. But I think also it's like, don't ignore the nerds and fan base that, make those characters popular in the first place either,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, like, so like, what's the end of that comment though? I mean, so you can say, well, make a movie that appeals to the masses. That's great. But at the expense of never moving the character forward. So literally we get movie after movie after movie that all tries to recreate Christopher Reeve.
Yeah. Well, can I give a prime example of what I think?
Because I'll just tell you right now, nobody's going to see that movie. People could talk nostalgic all they want about Christopher Reeve or whatever, but you know what? Remember, the last Superman movie that starred Christopher Reeve was Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. It's by far the worst Superman thing that probably exists.
And there's a reason why
besides that Indian Superman, the viral video that keeps going around, you know what I mean? Like where he's dancing with Spider-Girl, right? I mean, like, and I like Superman 3, but Superman 3 is chided left and right. So nostalgia maybe, but people listen, keep putting out that stuff. People didn't show up for Superman Returns, which was basically an extension of the Christopher Reeve things, and people won't show up for that either. So
and think about it like this: there was 1987 to 2006, 19 years in between Superman movies, right? Like in between 1987 to 2006, we got Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Begins. I mean, like we got 5 Batman movies in that same amount of time between 2 Superman films.
What do you think? What do you think would have happened though if they actually made Superman Lives? Like, what world would we be living in if they made that movie?
Oh dear God.
I'm just talking about in terms of the character of Superman.
Which by the way, I will say that I'm not a fan of Superman Returns. But again, I feel like not Gallagher, but Carrot Top, because I'm sitting right here with my Brandon Routh figure, and I've met Brandon Routh, and you know what? I don't blame Brandon Routh for that movie. I blame Warner Brothers. I blame Bryan Singer for that movie. As far as Superman Lives, man, you know what? It's better that it never happened. But I don't know what kind of world we live in. If I think that would have set Superman back.
Giant effing spiders, man.
Oh, dude, it would. I mean, dude,
it would have been the Batman and Robin of Superman movies.
Yeah, it really would have.
Yeah, look, there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said that if you're not going to do something at least partly right, it's better off that it never gets made, that it never happens. Because look, it's a thing of lore. People can. I've seen people go on. Well, I think it would have been awesome. Okay, good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Okay, hold on. I love these arguments here because I get what you're saying, Benson, but
inflation, yes.
Inflation, but I'm not arguing inflation. Like I don't argue inflation on that.
If that was the case, then Gone with the Wind is still the highest grossing movie of all time.
I never argue inflation because movies when they come out at a specific time. They are designed around the time of which they are released, and looking at them through any other kind of lens, I think is a goalpost moving situation. Because there's no way we could ever compare the two together, because simply go back to Superman the movie. Okay, fine. 1978 did really well for 1978. And Man of Steel came out at a time, like, keep in mind that Superman the movie came out a year after the birth of the summer blockbuster. So it's like it did well.
Plus Superman the movie has been re-released many times.
Yes, and how long back then, back in the 70s and 80s, when movies weren't coming out 3 a week, did we end up?
And there was no home video market.
Yeah, not for a number of years after that. So it was people kept going because it was what was available to them. Even my own dad, he said that when Empire Strikes Back came out, that him and my mom are living in a mobile home park in Beaverton, Oregon, and just about 2 blocks away was the Westgate movie theater, and he went and saw Empire. He can't even tell me how many times.
Exactly.
Because he would just walk over and he would watch it, and the tickets were like $1.25. He would just go over and see the movie, and he saw he thinks about 100 times is what he saw, but it's like it was back then. That's what you had access to. Go to the summer of 2008, and go and look at the releases of what came out in the summer of 2008, and I swear to God, it was like 2 or 3 big movies releasing literally every week in the summer of 2008. You're talking like you have, The Dark Knight, Hellboy, The Golden Circle. You've got You Don't Mess with the Zohan, Wall-E, Wanted, Hancock,
Iron Man.
That was May, Kung Fu Panda, Tropic Thunder. The summer of 2008 is a very interesting time period to look at because of Pineapple Express came out. The Incredible Hulk came out. That's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of movies came. I remember the summer of 2008 because one of my friends got me in with the local film reviewer people, and so they kept sending me free passes to go and see early screenings of these movies. So I would just go down on a Tuesday and watch all this stuff early, Plus I worked at the drive-in, and so we had all these movies there and everything else. There was so many things that came out in the summer of 2008, and it was almost too much. And that was when I started really realizing that Hollywood just oversaturates because all they care about is those opening 3 days. That's it. That's all they cared about.
The best example is also, what year did E.T. come out?
1982.
The summer of 82, we had John Carpenter's The Thing, Blade Runner.
Those opened on the same day. On the same day.
Everything got eclipsed by E.T. E.T. was
Blade Runner was number 2. Blade Runner was number 2 that weekend, and The Thing was number 11.
Look at 1989. Okay, Weird Al Yankovic was at the top of his game at that time, and UHF came out, and UHF is such an underrated movie and has become a cult classic.
Love UHF.
But UHF got absolutely buried under Batman, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Good God, what else came out in 89, summer of 89? Like seriously, he didn't have a chance with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it's become a cult classic now. But also, it's interesting because Man of Steel came out 2013. I mean, that's still a while back. What's the inflation on the last few years?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm looking here like the summer '89, Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, not my favorite, movie, but Star Trek: The Final Frontier, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
like,
liked
look,
it. I liked it.
it's not
What's got me
is,
with a starship? I don't know.
Yeah. June, and then you had License to Kill, Timothy Dalton, 16th Bond film. Ghostbusters 2 came out that summer.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry, I will never. I do not shit talk Ghostbusters 2 at all.
Ghostbusters 2 gets way too much hate.
It gets way. I will say this: the best thing about Ghostbusters 2016 is that it by default made Ghostbusters 2 a better movie. Because people were like, well, Ghostbusters 2016 is terrible. Number 2 wasn't that bad. I'm like, it was never that bad. It was never that bad. That Bobby Brown song still slaps to this day. I'm sorry. I'm a defender of Ghostbusters 2.
They controlled the Statue of Liberty with an NES controller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, here's the thing. So you also had Karate Kid Part 3, Do the Right Thing, Weekend at Bernie's came out that summer. Lethal Weapon 2 came out. That was big.
Oh.
That was big.
Yeah.
Peter Pan, the 1950 film re-release, which I do remember going to see. That and Cinderella, they released.
Oh yeah, those Disney releases were big.
You had When Harry Met Sally, Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh my gosh.
Right, Turner and Hooch, that was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Parenthood, that was one. James Cameron's The Abyss.
Oh yeah.
Right, Uncle Buck.
Oh my gosh.
Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, which is a lot of people love that one. And then Sex, Lies, and Videotape, which was Soderbergh's first movie. There was a lot. I mean, that's 1989. That's a lot of movies for 1989. And most of us have seen all of those movies. But can you say that you've gone and watched all the films that have come out during the summer in the last couple of years? I know I haven't. Even when I worked at theaters, it was difficult.
I mean, I watch usually the ones that I want to watch, but I don't see every movie.
Yeah,
we're a movie going family, so so that's one thing I like. I will say this. Here's the thing, guys. You can always learn something new. Let this be your takeaway from this stream. If you take anything away, you can always learn something new. I have had this Superman Returns Brandon Routh action figure since 2005 or 2006 when the movie came out. I did not know that this figure had Super Punch.
Oh, wow.
I've had this figure on my shelf for, good God, what is that now? 15 years. 15 years. 15 years. Did not know that he had Super Punch. You can always learn something new about something. Don't think that you know everything about everything.
Now, I do agree with McLeod here that Brandon Routh got redemption when he played Kingdom Come Superman.
Yes,
but
yes.
He did, but him as...
And then they killed him.
Yeah.
But they killed him?
BS. Well, they brought him back at the end, but they literally had John Cryer's Lex Luthor freaking kill him. And that was dumb. That was dumb. I guess that's my other hot take is people love John Cryer and like they think he's awesome. I don't think he's a good Lex Luthor. There are times where I think when he nails Lex Luthor, he nails it, but there's too many other times where it's like he's so un-Luthor like that
I never got that casting, to be honest with you.
No.
But I will say this, I understand about Brandon Routh getting redemption for the role of Superman, but when it comes to him playing a comic book character, him playing the Atom was perfect in my opinion. Like when he left Legends of Tomorrow, I was legitimately sad. Even though I haven't watched the show in a long time, he was a good character. And I felt like,
I'm shocked he left actually. That's pretty
well,
surprising.
it was him and his wife both left. His wife was on the show too.
Yep.
They both left. But then like there was it season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow when he was with or season 1 with Hot Girl. And they spent a long time like in the 1950s and they were building a life together thinking that they were stuck there. Like that was a good arc. And like he got to act a little bit and like you felt like, the character did really well. I think me personally, that's what I think he was kind of more born to play. I liked him as Superman. I thought he did a fine Clark Kent, a little goofy, but I liked him as Superman and trying to recapture the Christopher Reeve, which is very difficult to do. And obviously people didn't want that.
And they gave him probably the worst live action shirt rip of any Superman. And that includes Tom Welling's like CGI'd one at the end of that. I mean, that shirt rip in Superman Returns is like, was that like a bad take? Because he's just like rip, and it's just like there. It's like it's not the.
I love the one in Justice League because you feel the impact, like it has weight to it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like, I just feel like Brandon Routh was better suited for Adam than he was for Superman. And I'm glad he got the opportunity to go back into that world, and the fans embraced him, heavily embraced him.
Heck yeah.
And I think, and again, like I rewatched Superman Returns. It was a while ago, but I watched it, and I honestly, the movie has gotten better with age, to be honest with you. And I see a lot more of what Singer was going for, and I think coming at it with a fresh set of eyes after having been so long, and my expectations not being, what they used to be, I guess. I found it to be more enjoyable, and so it's like, I appreciate it for what it was, but I still prefer Man of Steel. I still prefer that whole arc. And that's the kind of, that's the kind of characterization of Superman that I personally want to see, because I feel it's more grounded and it's more realistic, and it's more something that like, as an actual human person, I can relate to those struggles more so than like the, I'm impervious to everything but a little green rock from my planet. Because after a while you're just like, okay, like, yeah, all right.
I think I don't know if Kira is being funny, because I always look at John Cryer as the poor man's it's like the Walmart brand of Matthew Broderick.
Oh yeah.
But but it's definitely John Cryer, John Cryer was in Superman 4. He played Lenny Luthor.
That's right. That's right. He was
Lex's nephew, and then he got to play Lex. And like, I still see him. I just don't see him as being.
Who was he in? Was it 16 Candles? Right.
Oh, Ducky.
Yeah, I see him as Ducky. Even on like when I was like, I would try to watch like 2.5 Men, and then it's like, it's just, Yeah, it's Charlie Sheen being Charlie Sheen, and then the other kid, that kid Angus, whatever his name was, that dude went freaking insane.
I will say I'm still salty because I have friends who watch the Arrowverse crossovers and all that stuff. They told me what they did with Kevin Conroy. I'm like, oh, why'd you do that? Why did you do that to Kevin Conroy? I was very salty when I heard what they did. They were described to me.
I never really watched much of it. So I just, I was in LA. I was at Nerd Report, Lewis's, Nuke the Fridge's house. And he showed me he was like all jazzed to watch it. And he has like this 80-inch television. And like, so he brought up like the Kingdom Come Superman scenes and some of the clips from the show. And we're watching them. And I'm like, this doesn't look any better on a larger screen. Like it just, you can see the CW budget, like like it was cool seeing him back in the role, because I wanted to see that. But I was so unimpressed with the effects and everything else. I was like, all right, like whatever. I don't care about any of this. But what I wanted to say is about a show that that still goes back to the nostalgia, but pushes things forward, is Mandalorian. Mandalorian has done that, where it's like they established, like it takes place, here's where it's at in the timeline. Here's the character, very simple, very straightforward. And it establishes lore, and you get to meet new characters, and you start to fall in love with those characters, like Kuil, damn it, IG-11, or no, IG-11. And like it's like but then you get season 2, and season 2, then okay, let's start to expand it a little bit more, and then they're saying like, was it Brendan Wayne, John Wayne's grandson, is actually the gunslinger stuntman for Mando?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, so like he's the one that like does all the gunfight stuff. He was saying that Mando season 3, when it starts filming, is going to be very much like season 1, where it's very much about Mando's journey,
less cameos,
less cameos, because at this point they're kind of expanding out the world. But he also described, because apparently he's got intimate knowledge with the Book of Boba Fett, and he said that the way Robert Rodriguez directed it, because he directed like 3 of the episodes, is all killer, no filler. And so it's like, I'm thinking Mando's going to pop up in Book of Boba Fett. I'm thinking like, that's what I'm hyped for.
When did they film it?
They filmed it in LA.
No, I mean I know where, like when, like what's the time frame for that?
When did they film Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
They started filming it last year. They wrapped up just a few months ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm just wondering like what the timetable for Mando season 3 is, because Pedro Pascal is filming Last of Us right now.
Well, the thing is, but Pedro Pascal doesn't need to be on set for
he doesn't,
Mando.
but he used to be. He got a lot more on set and more
on
involved
in
with
season 2.
right?
Yeah, cool. Because he could in season 1 he was shooting King. He was not shooting. He was performing King Lear on Broadway, and so they had that because they have 2 stunt doubles for him. One is Brendan Wayne, John Wayne's grandson. The other one, I forget the guy's name, but he's like the hand-to-hand combat guy. And so it's like, so they just bring in, he just does the ADR work for it. And then, but now that he's taking his helmet off more, we're going to see a lot more Pedro Pascal in the role
that's
going
the
forward.
Question I had. It's like, well, if he took his helmet off, does that mean we're going to see more of his face in the future?
Most likely,
they're going to like have to have him be more involved.
True. But the thing is, they can also alternate the production schedule, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, because if I recall, they had said that the Book of Boba Fett was going to wrap up production in March, and then they were going to start filming Mando season 3 like right afterward. And it appears now that there might have been a delay, and it's probably because of the Last of Us show, where they're not going to start probably filming it until towards the end of the year. But then again, they might start filming it towards the end of, they might already be in production, but without him. And then just like, making sure he can get out there to do it, and that's not going to be much of a problem. Cause I mean, they could fly him back and forth. That's not an issue. And I'm sure he would do it and whatever, but I don't know what they're going to do. I'm hoping like there's no Star Wars. No, there is Star Wars Celebration this year.
Yeah.
This year, Labor Day in Anaheim.
Okay.
So
I thought it was next year.
No, they pushed it from 2020 to 2021. And as far as I know,
is it going to be digital or like a physical event?
It's going to be a physical event because California is pretty much reopening at this point. Well, parts of it have reopened.
Why not? I'm just wondering if like that's going to change, like to get the Delta variant and all that.
I don't know. Washington opened up entirely this last weekend, and I was like, I went to Costco for the first time not wearing a mask, and I felt weird.
Right? Yeah.
It's
I'm like,
really weird. I'm still not comfortable.
Yeah,
honestly.
I still carry mine with me. I'm like, it's not that I'm vaccinated, I'm fine, but it's like my county has got just a little bit over 50% vaccinated at this point. I saw a guy today driving around with a big ass flag on the back of his truck, and it just says "fuck Biden" and everyone who voted for him. And I'm like, okay, like that's,
right?
Like that's the kind of area that I live in, and that's a lot of places.
Yeah,
to be
I live in the
you.
Bible Belt, so it's like, yeah,
you get a lot of that. Hold on here. So Ryan here says, since we are celebrating July 4th, what's your favorite pie? Mine's cherry.
Well, you can't go wrong with a good cream pie.
Oh God, let's clip that. I'm so clipping that for the show. I swear to God, RJ, you're never gonna live that down. Hold on a second. I gotta make. I'm like looking at something else, so I have to look here on the
3 hours.
3 hours and 7 minutes. All right, 3 hours 7 minutes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with you. I love banana cream. I love coconut cream, and I love strawberry pie.
Yeah, sorry, I crapped out. My internet crapped out for a second there.
I love a good strawberry pie. I also love chocolate pie. Chocolate pie is good.
How do you feel about lemon meringue?
I'll eat it if I have to. I'm a pie guy. I'm not a cake guy at all. I'm a pie guy.
I understand that. I had I'm type 2 diabetic, so I try to avoid that kind of stuff. But today my stepmom got like apple pie. Like we went to their house and they barbecued up burgers and hot dogs and the kids played and they, got they had like nice apple pie and like ice cream, and I'm like, I should not have this, but it's also a holiday.
Pecan pie is pretty good.
Yeah, pecan pie is pretty good. I like personally, I like pumpkin pie. That's my favorite. Pumpkin pie is my favorite.
Pumpkin pie is good too.
And I like it cold. I like it hot. I like it with whipped cream, without whipped cream. Actually, but cheesecake doesn't count as a pie, does it?
No.
Okay, because my
like
ultimate
too, though, yeah.
my ultimate favorite is like strawberry cheesecake. That shit will put me in a diabetic coma, and like I got to be careful on that front too. You know what I mean? Like,
heck yeah.
I'm going on a cruise next year, and it's
right. Can you say that pizza pie is your favorite pie?
I mean, I can hork down a pizza like the best of them, to be honest with you. But sure, I guess if you want to go. Real quick here, McLeod, another $5, man. Thank you so much. Says Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum are trying to get a Smallville animated series going that will pick up after the series finale. And that is that is what they should be focusing on, right? Whether it's going to be an animated show or like doing a podcast, right? Have it well written, have them voice act it, and the fans will come. Like, like Marvel has been working with Stitcher and putting out a lot of podcasts through Stitcher. I'm sorry, through Sirius XM.
Oh, with Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel. They've got
they got that Wolverine one.
Yeah, and so I have a Sirius XM membership. I need to go listen to it. I've listened to clips of it here and there. They have one. They just did a new one where it's like Old Man Quill. So they're doing Old Man Peter Quill with like an adventure with Rocket Raccoon. It sounds interesting and stuff, but it's like audio is a
comic actually.
Yeah, audio is a big thing, man. Like, I mean, we've been on for 3 hours, which is just insane. And it's people will listen to this and they want to they laugh, and I get a lot of comments after the fact and stuff. People just want to listen to things. And so maybe doing it as an animated show or as a podcast or something could be pretty good. And then also here, another McLeod one here says Superman and Lois has a far better budget, which yes, that is true. It does.
I'm honestly surprised that it's technically still a CW show and they didn't just straight up make an HBO Max.
Isn't it? Is it a co-production with HBO Max?
I believe so. Yes.
Because I wasn't too sure. I know they put the first 5 episodes on with Superman and Lois, and then I thought that they pulled those off because HBO Max has been pulling content like crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
Actually, speaking of Superman and Lois, real quick, I'm curious from both of you. Have you guys heard about the Nadria Tucker controversy? And what do you guys think about that?
Oh, about being on
Superman and Lois, yeah, the racism allegations and all that stuff at the show.
What?
Oh, it's
Nadria Tucker, the writer.
Yeah. I don't know.
So here's the thing, real quick though. Superman and Lois was on HBO Max. It has now been pulled off.
Why?
And that is, I don't know. They put it on there, then they pulled it off.
They're waiting to put the whole season up.
I don't know. They don't even have the Donner cut on HBO Max. Looking at this here. I don't know. The Nadria Tucker thing is complicated, to be honest with you, because I've read her complaints and I don't disagree with her complaints at all, but it's also one of the factors that goes into doing these shows is whoever runs, it's a very difficult thing because we are now in an age of more representation and that is important. And then you learn about what was it? Kim's Convenience from Simu Liu, right? And he's saying they had an all white writer's room and they were dealing with an Asian show and that. No, there should be Asian people in the writer's room providing their right stuff.
And some of that came because there's some stereotypes going around. They didn't really do some of the things that I don't know. It was a whole whole can of worms,
Yeah. But the thing is though, she said, now Nadria Tucker says she says that she was let go seemingly out of nowhere and then wants to come out and make these claims. And it's that's the thing. You never know. Hollywood will fire you for the most obtuse reasons. You know what I mean? They will let you go for whatever reason.
She was saying on Twitter, one of the things is that, she voiced her concern that the only villain of the show so far was a black man. I'm that was one of the big things too.
But see, here's the thing. He wasn't the villain.
Right. And that's a thing that we've come to find out now.
Well, here's the problem. People got to get their panties out of a bunch. So you're going to tell me, so what? So all the villains now have to be white?
Well, apparently you need to have more black characters than just that one who's the villain. Apparently, that's the issue. Which is why?
But he wasn't a villain. He's literally one of the biggest heroes. That reveal is amazing. If people would, it goes back to my whole thing, man. Let the story be told. Stop getting your panties in a bunch over something off the first thing. Let the story be told. Turns out he's John Henry Irons, which was fantastic because that episode where they revealed him to do that, when they started showing him doing the stuff that he was doing, RJ, I turned to Tiffany and I go, he's resembling a lot of characteristics of John Henry Irons right now. And when they did that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. Matt, do you know who John Henry Irons is?
No.
Okay. So when they killed Superman, right? In the comics, and when they were bringing him back, they introduced 4 characters. There was Superboy, who was a clone of both Superman and Lex Luthor, right? They had the Eradicator, which I love too that they brought the Eradicator on Superman and Lois. The Eradicator is a piece of Kryptonian technology that basically is there to protect Kryptonian heritage and everything Kryptonian going forward, right? So when Superman died in the comics, this piece of Kryptonian technology called the Eradicator, which had been very problematic for Superman in the comics for a few years, because it was very much so, it didn't care about humans, it just cared about Krypton, right? And so it was very problematic for Superman. Well, when Superman died, it sensed that Superman was at the point of death. So it literally took on the physical representation of Superman, flew to Metropolis, saved Superman. That's what I was talking about earlier. Saved Superman out of the tomb because they had buried Superman, because that's what you do when you think somebody's dead, right? But saved him out of the tomb, took him back to the Fortress of Solitude, put him in a chamber, regeneration chamber, so that he could absorb solar energy, put the black suit on him for that reason, because that's what the black suit was a solar energy receptor, and basically saved him. Then went out portraying Superman, but was worse than Batman. Imagine Batman with all those powers. Like, it was like the Eradicator would talk about it like he was judge, jury, and executioner, right? I mean, like he was killing people literally who were doing crimes. Then there was Cyborg Superman, who was a character named Hank Henshaw, which had dealt with Superman years previous, and it was almost like a parody of a Fantastic Four, because there was Hank and his wife and 2 other people, and like I could literally show you the cover the first time that they introduced him. It looks just like the Fantastic Four. Absolutely, right. Like the Fantastic. But the thing was when the accident happened that turned them into these super freaks, Hank Henshaw, the father, basically the Mr. Fantastic of the whole thing, blamed Superman, because Superman wasn't able to save him. We talked again, like Superman isn't perfect and can't do everything. That was one of these stories where Superman wasn't able to save everybody. And so Hank Henshaw blamed Superman for the death of his wife. Hank, you thought at first had died. Come to find out, he had gained the power to be able to control all things metal. And so he came back as a different thing. And then he came back when he saw the Superman was dead. He used that as a way to come back. He was half cyborg, like he looked really weird and stuff. But he said, "Look, I'm Superman. I've been through this horrible ordeal. I don't know how I turned out this way." And he was fooling people. He was the real villain of the story. But then they had a 4th guy who was a black guy named John Henry Irons, and he was based off of Shaq. The design was based off of Shaq. Superboy was based off of Brian Austin Green at the time. But this guy was based off of Shaq. He was a big construction worker that Superman had saved, and he was basically like Iron Man. He built a suit that had thrusters and stuff like that because he was inspired by Superman. When he saw Superman die, he wanted to go out and save the world. Well, the original idea that they did with this was called Reign of the Supermen, and the idea was one of these guys is the real Superman. Who is it? Is it Superboy? Is it John Henry Irons, who they ended up calling Steel? Is it the Eradicator, which we didn't know that it was the Eradicator at the time because that would have given it away. They just called him, I think, the Man of Tomorrow, maybe.
Is it the Man of Tomorrow, Last Son of Krypton?
The man, Last Son of Krypton is what they called him. Last Son of Krypton is what they called him. So it was almost like they were hinting at it, but it was Last Son of Krypton, and then Cyborg Superman was Man of Tomorrow. And so they did this, and that went on for months. Well, then it turns out Superman was, actually alive and came back as Superman. But they introduced John Henry Irons. That Shaq movie, Steel. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen it, but I know of it.
That's John Henry Irons.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a DC movie.
It was a DC movie, and it's dumb because they don't even reference Superman. It has nothing to do with Superman.
All he has is a Superman tattoo.
Yeah, and that's what the character is based off. And so they introduced this black character in there, but we thought that he was a Lex Luthor guy because he was bald headed, and we just thought that he came from a different Earth. Come to find out, he's John Henry Irons, and that's amazing. And he's a good guy, and he's going to help. He's going to help Superman here. I'm sure by the end of the season. And so it's like I don't understand why everybody just has to get pissed off at everything. It's like if everybody's subgroup or whatever is not the hero of the story, I get it. Look, I understand. I want to put out there, I am definitely.
It's like you better
I know.
watch. It's a tough.
I know, but I'm just going to be honest. I understand that historically there have like the white knight syndrome, and it's too many, too much of that, and I get that, and that's been abused to death. But sometimes to tell the greatest story, you got to get there. And like in this instance, for example, with John Henry Irons, yeah, it was a curveball because they made you think that it was. Come to find out, in his world, he's married to Lois Lane. He loves humanity, and he stole Lex Luthor's battle suit, re-rigged it because he's absolutely an amazing character. He's a brilliant guy. Re-rigged the whole thing. Ended up in our universe, or the universe there in the show. And at first he goes after Superman because he's scared that Superman's going to make the same mistakes as Superman in his world, who actually killed his Lois Lane. So, but wait for the story to be told. Don't get ahead of it, like, look, if at the end of the day, they're just like, he's bad or whatever, like, okay, I get, maybe you can make a complaint, but it just, what that shows me though? It shows me, like, I don't know her story. I don't know why she was let go. I don't know but it does show us something though, because obviously she didn't know the full story of that character.
Or she just didn't want to give it away.
That's possible too.
There's that.
Because it wouldn't fit with their narrative. It could be either one of those things.
Well, I mean, there is that. I was kind of reading through her interview again with Huffington Post, or The Root, I think, and I think what she's talking about is like if you are trying to be inclusive, and you hire people kind of specifically to fill that gap, right, or that need. I don't want to say gap, but need. Of like their voices, and you don't listen to them, then what's the point, and that's a valid, a valid thing, 100%.
Yes, it is.
But it's also kind of like the timing of which her complaints came out, and there's a lot of people that have been kind of questioning, because it's kind of like with the Ray situation, where it's like there wasn't a lot of like details up front, and so people were kind of clamoring for more, and so I don't know, like, if Jeff Johns is like being an idiot, then like, yeah, Jeff Johns is an idiot. Like, you know what? Get him the hell out of there. Like, let him write comics, but like keep him away from TV shows. How about that? And they need to fix her crap. I just don't know. I don't believe she's lying. I don't know what her ultimate end game is on this one. I'm like, if she was disrespected for that, that's not right. Nope. That's kind of where I stand with it. It's like, I don't know. Those are always kind of touchy subjects. It's like, you just go, I don't want to like say the wrong thing, but then also how do you sometimes formulate it correctly? Anyway, Benson here, $2. Sorry, I missed this one. Saying Kevin Feige would give us an epic Superman. Now, based upon Enoch's reaction there, I would argue that that's probably not what he thinks.
I don't think so, and here's why. Because Feige, look, I could be completely wrong. It could be completely wrong. So I won't be a hypocrite. But I will say this. Feige talks about how every time they make a Marvel movie, that they go back and watch Superman the movie, right?
Yeah, I've heard him make that.
It's one of his favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, and I get it, and that's fine, It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, but I don't know that he would give us an epic Superman movie, because I think he would give us the same nostalgic junk from back then. And I say nostalgic junk because by this point it is junk. If you can't come up with something new to present with this character, then what's the point of doing it? Look what happened with Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer loved the Donner version way too much. And it hurt him. It hurt the character. It set the character back. It cost everybody a bunch of money. it did more harm than good, and it almost ruined Brandon Routh's career, for goodness sake. So my thing is that he may tell an interesting Superman story. He may very well. If Kevin Feige does a great job with Marvel, but I don't want to see Superman go that route again. I don't. That's not. And I'm not saying that it's got to be my way or the highway. I'm just saying as far as Kevin Feige, let Kevin Feige do what Kevin Feige does, and stop pining for the past. Make a good relevant Superman movie, because I don't think that if you remake the 78 movie over again and try to make it all, goody two shoes or whatever.
The ultimate plot twist is actually a dark deconstruction of the character.
What's that?
I said the massive plot twist he does the Superman movie, but it's a dark deconstruction of the character.
I don't know.
Could you imagine though?
That would be funny.
Oh my god! At this point, Kevin Feige would do that. Kevin Feige would make the darkest interpretation of Superman, and somebody out there would defend that choice and act like Kevin Feige is brilliant for it.
I think I think here's the thing. I think Feige would approach it from I think he would look at I do think he would actually attempt to deconstruct the character a little bit. I do. I think he would look for now, because if it was let's say if he was doing DC versus doing Marvel, there would be hiccups and fumbles in the first phase of the films, right? There you would have them trying to tackle the complexities of Batman, very similar to Iron Man 2, which had its problems on that front because they kind of rushed through the demon in the bottle storyline and not taking its time to kind of get to where it needed to be. But I think Kevin Feige now, understanding a lot more with these characters and how to build out the world, would give us something that could be more crowd pleasing, than what we've gotten. And I'm not equating Cavill. I'm trying to say before that, instead of the multiverse side of that thing, because I think Feige could actually give us a pretty good one, more so than J.J. Abrams. All right. And J.J. Abrams has been clamoring to do a freaking bet.
Yeah.
And he's been, because keep in mind,
anytime Matt tries to make a point,
I know.
cuts him out.
I feel like if they tried to do if Feige tried to do the DC universe, we'd end up with a Batman who only fights during the day.
Nah. That's a low blow joke right there.
You know what I mean? It would be Batman, but it'd have to be well lit, and he'd have to be up at the same hours as everybody else, and it wouldn't, I mean?
Actually, this made me think about something. What do you think about him doing a Star Wars movie, producing one?
Yeah, well, he's supposedly attached to a Star Wars movie.
He is. He's and Michael Waldron, who's been doing who wrote Loki, is writing that for him.
Yeah.
So it's here's the thing. Feige loves Star Wars more than he loves Marvel.
187 goes in. Don't disrespect Feige.
No, I'm just saying it's Feige. No, what is it? I think Feige and Star Wars go together better than probably Feige and Marvel. And the reason why is because he hasn't had to contain or hasn't had to deal with multiple characters that are owned by multiple companies and find a way to make them work. Now, he's done a great job with that. He makes a lot of crowd pleasing stuff. Would I like there to be a bit more cerebral things in the MCU? 100%. Do I think we were getting that with Zack Snyder stuff? 100%. Because here it is.
Which is why you need variety.
Exactly why you need variety. But the problem was Warner Brothers is too afraid. But I do think when it comes to Star Wars, I think Feige, because he's openly admitted to being a bigger Star Wars fan than a Marvel fan. And when it comes to Marvel, his favorite character is Spider-Man, which is why he has been so adamant about that with Sony.
And which is why Disney and Sony will continue to build that relationship.
Oh, absolutely. It's all away. Yeah.
I made a bet with William, by the way. He does not agree with me on that, but yeah.
Well, it's more or less the idea there, in my opinion, is that Feige will find. I think this is a hot kind of take here, but I think when Feige is ready to move on, he'll move over to Star Wars. And I think I think he'll maybe oversee it. They'll find a way to merge Star Wars into Marvel or have him like, a subdivision of Marvel being Lucasfilm or something, or Star Wars division, and he'll oversee that. But I think, like, how do you
just face.
no, what do you do? What do you do when you literally conquer the world? Right? Like, what do you do if you're Feige and you literally conquer the world? Like, you would move on to something else.
Yeah, but I don't know. Look, Marvel is its own thing, though. I mean, like in Star Wars, Lucasfilm is its own thing. I don't think you're going to see Lucasfilm come under the tutelage of Marvel.
Well,
Feige may move on and go someplace else and go to
sure. Well, that's kind of
but you're not going to make it a subsidy of Marvel. That's like Lucasfilm's now like under Marvel and under that, because that's what you said. That's why I had to look at him.
Sorry. That's it is getting late and I'm getting sleepy.
I was like,
but like what I mean, there? I think when Feige is ready to step down, he'll probably go, look, if they go, what else do you want to do? He might go, well, I want to do Star Wars. And at the same time, like right now, that makes me a little concerned, by the way, because I think right now where Star Wars is on Disney Plus is in a fantastic place. Like the Bad Batch is amazing.
Great.
I like Cad Bane versus Fennec Shand. That fight was I loved it.
Brilliant.
And it's like tying back into not only the Clone Wars, which I loved, and then it's also kind of giving us a little bit towards the future.
I can't believe some people think Bad Batch sucks. I'm like, I'm sure you guys
but
watching.
you know what kind of people those are.
Well, some people are saying it's boring. I'm
what?
Like, how is it boring?
Whatever. Whenever Omega and Wrecker get in the same room together, it's like that's the heart of the show. Right there.
Trust
what
me,
are you
dude.
doing?
I see a lot of complaints about Omega on my timeline. Like, why do you people hate children so much?
I don't. Okay. When I first heard about Omega, I was like,
SJW character.
Yeah, I was like, but then she's grown on me something fierce. And I'll tell you this though, a large part of that is
Boba Fett got a sister.
Yeah, it's woke now. Boba Fett's become woke.
Fett, that's what Book of Boba is gonna be all about. She's gonna find Boba, and then she's gonna end up killing Boba, and then
taking his armor.
Yep, and then her and Fennec are gonna rule together. And she's going to be the heir apparent. That's how they're going to close out Boba Fett's.
Wait, hold on.
I was going to. So there were two comments that I wanted to do because I got to get going here. It's 5 a.m. But yeah, I wanted you to bring that up.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Dear God, no. Dear God, no.
No, they're not going to cross that over.
Not even in a comic book. Like it's like a non-canon comic book. Like just a fun, special, free comic book.
They might do it. Maybe a what if. Maybe a what if.
Yeah. RJ, the Muppets did one too. Like it doesn't matter. Like that's not like when he's talking about there, like an actual crossover. Like no,
I don't think crossover would happen. I think as a fun little side special.
Well, look, there was a fun little movie that came out that crossed Batman over with Star Wars. Did you guys see that? Batman and Superman. There was a fan film. It's actually a really good fan film. It's basically Batman fighting Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's really good, actually. It's on YouTube, dude. You should look it up. It's like Batman versus Darth Vader. Superman is being held captive by Darth Vader under kryptonite. And Batman goes and flies to, I think, the Death Star and is trying to free Superman. But he takes on, you get to see Batman with a freaking lightsaber. And it's interesting because the way Batman handles Darth Vader is very, very smart because he attacks his technology. He attacks like the breathing apparatus. So even though Darth Vader has the Force, he's having to focus all of his Force abilities on just trying to keep himself alive because basically Batman uses an EMP to knock out Darth Vader's breathing apparatus. And so it gives Batman a fighting chance, but then, it comes back online and stuff happens. But the ending is really, really cool. But
still better than The Last Jedi.
No, shut
speaking of weird crossovers, sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, Kira had a comment, like 2 comments up from that Shiftyism one. Says, yeah, the demon in the bottle storyline was rushed, and it's really important to Tony's character development, but it's sad they couldn't tackle his substance abuse issues better. And that's the drawback of it. Again, that goes back to Benson's thing. Well, we're making it for the masses, so we're not going to get too deep into a dark alcoholics, battle. Or if you do, it's going to be touched upon in a movie and basically overcome really quick. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I prefer the storytelling of Zack Snyder, because I feel like if Zack Snyder did Iron Man, he would delve into that demon in a bottle thing. And by the time Tony Stark got out of it, we would be excited rooting for him. I agree with you, Kara. I don't. That it's one of the problems that I have with that. And I love the Iron Man. I love Iron Man 1, and I actually like Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3 just is not my jam. But I look, Feige made a fan of me of Iron Man and a bunch of other Marvel properties that I was not a fan of. Guardians of the Galaxy, other things. But I'm just saying that Demon in a Bottle storyline is still something that kind of gets on my nerves. And I don't know, RJ. I mean, you're a Marvel fan. Does that?
No, I think it was squandered potential. That's one of the aspects of Iron Man 2 that I wish was handled better, because had they made like a whole movie around the Demon in a Bottle
they
thing,
kind of
it could have been great.
I mean, this is a very odd comparison or a very odd whatever, but I mean, obviously the Disney mandate for Iron Man 2 tying into building up Avengers.
Yes, that was the thing with Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
A lot of studio notes.
Yeah, a lot of things just kind of push it towards being an Avengers film or getting it off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But in regards to having, I don't want to say a substance abuse issue, but like an emotional thing, Iron Man 3's handling of his PTSD following the events.
I thought that was actually very well handled.
I thought they handled that very well, and I thought, it's
easily the best aspect of the movie.
It is. It really is, because people got really mad about that. I remember they'd be like, "Oh, Iron Man's got PTSD." I'm like, dude, think about it. Like his whole world just opened up.
He literally almost died.
But that's not what we want to see our heroes. Don't you know? We want to see our heroes overcome everything, Matt, and just like it, just brush it off like it was no big deal.
Do you remember Spider-Man 2? Do you remember Spider-Man 2 when like he kind of had psychosomatically lost his powers?
Yes.
And so many people were upset about that. Like,
wait, people were upset about that back in the day?
Yes.
Because remember, I was little when that movie came out, so
like,
I didn't.
Dude,
I wasn't there seeing it in the theater and everything.
2004. I was 22. That movie, everyone's like, I don't want to see a mopey, depressed Spider-Man. Like, what?
But that was Spider-Man No More. That was Amazing Spider-Man number 50. That's what it was from.
Yeah. Well, but the average person doesn't know that, and the average person that's getting what it is they didn't want to see an upset. They don't want to see these characters to go through any kind of arc.
Read the comics, yes.
Yeah, no, I know, read the comics, but it's like I told one of my coworkers was like really adamantly against it. She hated Spider-Man 2 as a result of that. And I'm like, but think about it, like but he has like the PTSD, like he has problems. Like your mind works in a very interesting way. The psychosomatic nature of it, like it really messed with him. And like, that's the whole thing. It's like, he's got to get over that. And like, that's the arc of the character. And by the end of the movie, clearly he solved it. Clearly he saves the day and defeats the villain.
No, I get it. We don't want this, which challenges us with these comic book characters. You know what we want? We want this. This is what we want.
What the heck is that?
This is an old record of Superman. Look how colorful. Look, he's saving.
Oh, he's fighting Mr. Mixioplix.
Who?
Mixioplix? Is that how you say his name? I'm sorry, I butchered that. It's very hard to pronounce.
There are two
Mixioplix?
Mixioplix. There are two possible pronunciations because I've heard them both. On the old Super Friends, he was called Mixelplick.
Oh, Mixelplick.
Mixelplick. But the more common one that has become the staple is Mixelpidalic.
Mixelpidalic. Oh, okay. Mixelpidalic.
But see, this is the thing. These are like non-canon stories from like the 60s and the 70s, right? And there's bright colors and like everybody's happy and Superman is like there's missiles flying all around Superman here and everything, but nothing's hitting anybody. Everybody's happy. Everybody's, having a good time. Turn the page when you hear the story or when you hear the beep, right? This is what gets in people's heads because this is when though Superman's a comic book character. Comics are for kids, right? Comics are for little kids who are just starting off reading. And they just have simple stories that are non-complex. Metaverse, I'm glad that you're enjoying this today. I've seen your comments there, man. I'm really glad that you're enjoying it.
You gotta try getting him on over there on the lounge and this
hash
this out.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. For sure. But that's things we act like all these characters because they're comic book characters, there's no depth to them. That it's all for little kids because comic books are for kids. Toys are for kids. Like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry, the average 5-year-old's not picking up this dark side. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we got to get beyond that. We live in a different world. And these gatekeepers who like want to keep these characters bottled up in like preschool, instead of allowing them to grow and allowing us. Look, Marvel dealt with so many issues back in the 60s and 70s.
That was the whole point.
That was the whole point of Marvel. Exactly. Marvel is not supposed to be about just like smiling, being cheesy and all that stuff. Marvel was dealing with civil rights issues. Look at the X-Men. The X-Men's existence, for God's sake.
Right? A lot of stuff with like some of the Captain America comics about like, you know, the corruption of the U.S. government, or like Spider-Man. They're tackling.
Right. So what Enosh is probs the reason this vid is so effing long. No offense. No.
Dude, you should see his streams are like, his streams are normally like about 4 hours long, like on average.
Sometimes 5 or 6.
Well, yeah, we get into it.
And this has been a good conversation, and it's been fun all the way through. I'm not complaining at all, even though I've had to piss for like the last 2 hours.
Me too. I gotta go.
It's very late. It's very late. I got to get to bed. You guys do too. So we'll have to put a pin in it for this one. Look, the fact that we've got nearly 50 people. I think I might
continue this conversation over on the Poindexter Lounge today. So look for because this was actually a topic that I was going to discuss. When I heard you discussing it, and when I heard that you kept saying like Enosh has probably got a different take than me, and he's probably going to hate what I'm doing and stuff, and I'm like. Dude, like I fell asleep on the couch tonight, and I woke up, and it was funny because I woke up and I saw your video on there that you were talking about Superman. I was like, oh, he's talking about Superman. Okay, so I clicked on it, I'm listening, and I was like making some food or whatever. And when you're like, yeah, you know, because I wasn't gonna come in, you know, I wasn't gonna join the thing, and then you start like Enosh, you know, has a totally different take than me. I'm like, screw that, man. Y'all need to understand. I know what I'm talking about, and so. When I say I'm a Superman fan, I'm not the I just love Superman so much, man. My son's middle name is Jor-El. It's the only thing I got tattooed on my body. Miss me with your nostalgic memories of what you think you remember when you were a kid. Hit me up with some real knowledge. Read a comic book, like I said. Get some knowledge in you, and then enjoy it all. Enjoy it all. Enjoy the cheesy stuff, right? Like look, I love the Spider-Man movies. You know what else I enjoy, RJ? You won't remember this. You ever watch The Electric Company?
I did. I watched the Spider-Man episode. Yes, I did.
Okay. So episode. He was on there every episode, dude. They had Spider-Man on every episode.
Well, I watched one of them. I watched one of them, and I watched all of them.
Dude, that was my first introduction to Spider-Man.
Really? That's interesting.
I didn't know as a little kid that Spider-Man could even talk, because all he talked was in thought bubbles. Okay,
that's right. Yeah,
like one of my favorite episodes of that was when Spider-Man fought a guy who was like throwing measles at everybody. He had measles in a bag, and they were little dots. And he was throwing them, and Spider-Man gets sick at the end and gets the measles. But my point is that enjoy it all. You can enjoy it all, but don't hate on the people who do want a more mature version of these characters that I think is more real. And
there's room for everything. Let people enjoy what they enjoy.
There's room for everything, and so that's what I would just encourage you to do. But hey, I'm going to check out.
Yeah,
Matt, you're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no, good chat, man. It was a lot of fun. I thought that like, because I was like, I know how much you love Superman, so like, oh, is he a boring character? I didn't think you were going to agree with me, so that was very surprising because my reaction was genuine when you came in. By the way,
nice.
I was like, what? You're full of what? No. And then, of course, also, everyone go subscribe to the Poindexter Lounge. Enosh goes on oftentimes when I'm on. So watch me first, then go watch him. There's that. And then, of course, here's Zeo Gaming. Oh, good morning. Did I finally catch something live? If you just got here, I am so sorry, but it's been like 3 hours and 43 minutes. There's a lot to listen to. So
that's great.
Scroll back a little bit. You'll be pretty good. Good chat. And then always RJ is great to have around. Love me some RJ.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys are here. Also, everyone, thank you very much. Happy 4th of July. Now the 5th of July officially. And we'll see you all tomorrow. I know I'll be streaming again. And have a good one, everybody.